And we're live.
Hello, Wrestling World. Thank you again for joining us. It is Wednesday, which that means it is officially Violent Wrestling Podcast Day. As always, I'm joined by my cohort in crime, AA, and my co-host. He's a nice guy, so I don't want to call him the cohort. Metal Matt.
Hello, everyone.
And a special guest. I think this makes the third time, maybe fourth time he's been on. The one, the only, Mr. Cleveland himself, Adam Rice.
Y'all, the demand was so great. The masses wanted it. And these jokers still couldn't keep me away. I'm back, everybody. Thanks again for having me.
Thanks for being on.
I think
Adam
you're right.
Ant.
You can get right the hell out, sir.
This is already starting.
It's the day before Thanksgiving. We all have turkey on our minds. So, yeah, it's probably going to start a little early tonight. But before we get descended into madness...
Before you get started, I have something to say.
Let's get right to Rocky Mountain Pro, shall we?
RMP.
RMP, the only Rocky Mountain Pro on Twitch. Don't miss it, folks. It's worth it. Yes, indeed.
I heard a rumor somewhere that somebody I knew was at the Charge show Saturday.
Oh, yes, it was a fun show. I braved the weather. I went through icy rain and icy fog and bad road weather conditions, and I drove an hour and a half.
Battling the flu.
Yes, I was still under the weather. Not the flu. I was just under the weather.
Hey, I was trying to do that
made it.
dramatic effect.
But I made it.
Yay. When wrestling's good, you'll be the postal service. Rain, sleet, or snow, nothing's keeping me away from going to see it.
Actually, the podcast is keeping me away from going to go see it.
How?
How? Because there was a wrestling event being held in Denver tonight.
Get your ass off this podcast and go.
Now, by the time we get there, it'll be over with. But nope, I fulfill my duty to the podcast.
You said duty.
Thank you, Beavis.
So sorry you're missing this. If I didn't know anything about it, you gotta let me know.
You said, dude.
Matt, I can hear the impression starting already. We're supposed to keep ourselves in check while we go through Rocky Mountain Pro.
This is VWP. There's no such thing as keeping it under control.
We are all, I promise you, we're all like legal age. We are not 12-year-old middle school
Even
kids.
Though we act like it.
Speak for yourself.
Well, you're from Cleveland, so that...
No, I'm 28, but due to all the trauma I've experienced in my life, I actually have the brain of a 2-year-old.
Well...
Shut up.
So... Rocky Mountain Pro, AA. Fill us in on the deep.
Oh, it was a lot of blast. From the first match to the last match, it was highly entertaining. Yes, I got to see Curtis Cole in action.
What kind of match did he have?
He did a tag team match. He teamed up with Mercury Matt Yaden.
Nice.
And they won.
Even better.
Of course, it's better. Anaya defended and kept his Charge championship.
Yeah, I'm looking at the card going into the show, and Anaya was, defending his championship, but they also had Hoodie on the card, But wasn't Hoodie in a tag team match, but not with Anaya of Left Coast Gorillas?
No, Hoodie didn't wrestle that night.
Oh, okay.
Both he and Anaya, they flew back after wrestling Friday night in St. Louis.
Right.
And
I heard they tore the house
and,
down in St. Louis.
Of course. Wherever Left Coast Gorillas go, they always tear down the house.
Well, yeah, of course.
I mean, they're the world's most dangerous tag team after all.
Yes. You want to talk about a fun follow on Twitter, at Hoodie, HOODIE LCG. That would be Hoodie. And he's a riot on Twitter. And at Anaya, ANAYA.
No, it's Gorillas Anaya.
Gorillas Anaya. And if you can't spell gorillas, Google it. But Anaya is spelled ANAYA. They are a riot on Twitter.
Especially when they get on a promo, when they get onto it with someone. They really they really go at it. Filter was in a triple threat match. He took them both out.
Who was he facing? Wasn't one of them one of the guys debuting?
Yeah, it was one of the guys debuting. And Anthony.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And then Atiba faced one of the guys debuting. And their match, you had grappling, technical wrestling, high flying. You had it all. It was seamless. It was flawless.
How long do Rocky Mountain Pro shows usually last?
2 to 3 hours.
Okay.
It depends what they have on the card.
Right. And this was at the Quarry, right?
This was at the Quarry in Golden, Colorado. And it can be seen on Twitch. And they've got some great stuff coming up. They're going to start doing they're going to start doing a weekly charge show starting in 2019. They're going to get more fan interactive since they're doing this on Twitch. They're going to be where the fan could say, I want to see, let's say, Filter wrestle Curtis Cole in a ladders match.
Oh, AA is going to be, they're going to have to limit the votes because AA is just going to spend all day voting for that match.
I will not. I mean, I like to see Anaya in a chain gang match. I mean, Anaya and Hoodie.
I know, but I'm just giving you a hard time about your fandom for Curtis Cole.
Oh, yes. And Filter.
And Filter.
And the Left Coast Gorillas. Got to have my tag team in there.
Left Coast Gorillas, when we started a year ago talking about Rocky Mountain Pro, if you remember, like, they really drew me in. Like, holy crap. Like, okay. I like them since you introduced me to watching them and following them. Like, I really like LCG.
Oh, yes. And, of course, my Lockets is the Lockets champion, Aligato.
Aligato. What main evented?
It was actually a co-main event.
Okay.
And, of course, it was Yaden and Curtis were one of the main events. I'm trying to remember the other main event.
Forgive her, she's been sick and taking medicine and stuff. So
yeah, so I'm trying to remember. I know Atiba opened the show. That was our first match.
I'm just now getting into Atiba. Like Just go ahead.
If you put him with someone who wrestles his style, the way he wrestles, it's flawless.
Yeah, he's really good. I just haven't been able to see much of him.
I'm sure you'll be seeing more and more of Atiba because he is a crowd favorite. He's a crowd favorite.
I thought Mox said first he was getting the TiVo now. And I'm like, what?
No cable in my house, sir. That's how the government spies on you. No cable, no satellite, no.
The government doesn't need that. They now have drones.
I was wondering what was flying above me just now.
It's a drone. They're spying on you with drones.
It's my drone.
Hey, whoa, see. Before we went to see Stalker.
These aren't the drones you're looking for.
Oh God. Oh God. Did we just do a Star Wars reference?
Yeah.
That was actually.
Oh my. Who got the loudest pop of the night? Yeah, she must have had a cough.
Yeah, pardon. I was coughing.
I asked who got the loudest pop of the night. I'm pretty sure I can guess.
The loudest pop of the night? Take a guess.
Yaden and Cole.
Well, it was really a toss up between Yaden and Cole and Anaya. But they're going to be doing a lot more with Twitch. So there's a lot of stuff coming out of our Rocky Mountain Pro at the turn of this year.
You almost said Century.
Yes, I almost said Century.
Good grief. And they just started, and I'm going to get it wrong. I always do. I started a deal with Fight UK to air overseas and stuff.
Yes, and Global Wrestling.
Yeah.
So they're branching out, folks. You got to get in with them. It is definitely worth it. And if you ever get a chance to see Anaya and Hoodie do their drunk wrestling history, it's a blast. If you subscribe to Twitch, you can go back into the archives and you can catch all of their drunken wrestling history with Anaya and Hoodie.
So they've taken the drunk history concept from Comedy Central and they've now applied it to wrestling.
Yes, but they actually get drunk.
Yes.
Oh, that is beautiful.
If they can't remember the last 30 minutes of the show, then it was a successful show.
Now that I have seen a few of their episodes doing their Twitch stream. Oh my! And I drink. These guys drink like they drink.
Especially Anaya.
Yes.
Well, Anaya drinks a lot. Who did you to go for the more hard stuff?
I mean, we're still waiting for Drunk Mox to make an appearance on the podcast.
and I literally, I swear, I would turn my camera on right now. If I mute my microphone, it's because I'm opening a beer, which happens a lot. If you ever seen my microphone with the slat, yep, I'm opening a beer because I don't want coming through the microphone. I have, just since we've started, I have 2 empties next to me, 1 in the cup holder, and a 6-pack next to me, just waiting to drink. And I've been drinking since like 9 o'clock this morning.
All right, we're making good progress.
I can't just drink it all at once.
Hey, I'm not double shotting shit. Come on now. I can't. I've tried. When was it over the summer? Was it 4th of July special?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
Dude, I tried. Like woke up early and just drank and drank and drank and drank. I like I won't say like, okay, I'm cool to drive because that's just not cool. But as far as like drunk, like I just can't do it anymore. But I don't touch the hard stuff.
And boys and girls, do not try that at home. Mox just happens to be a professional drinker.
Yeah, like I should get paid for this shit.
He's licensed and certified.
Yeah. I'm not saying it. I'm not saying it.
Okay, we're getting off track, guys.
Yes.
What's next
okay.
in the
That's
independent
certified,
scene?
So overall, out of the show, out of 5 stars, I already know the answer. What would you give the Saturday's Chart Show?
A 5.
And didn't you get somebody's?
Yes,
I can't.
I got Curtis Cole's autograph.
Oh yeah, that guy. Nice. I bet you already have it like framed, hanging on your wall.
No, it's not framed yet.
But you did deny it already being on the wall.
Right? I was thinking the same thing.
No, it's not even on the wall yet. It's just in my photograph album at the moment.
It's in a locked safe until she gets a frame.
It's in there with Anaya and Filter's autographs.
She can only access it via fingerprint scanner and eye scanner.
That's right. That is absolutely right.
And a drone has to be close enough by for the 4th unlock.
Not even Hardison and Parker could get into it.
Oh, good grief. The references made during the show never cease to amaze me.
And they fly over everybody's.
Yeah, nobody's going to get that.
Oh, come on. It's a Leverage reference.
Yes. But yeah, everybody tune in to Violent Wrestling Podcast to hear Star Wars and Leverage references. It actually works kind of great. Like, who else is making these references?
No, I can make lots of references.
Oh, that wasn't really a challenge.
Okay, so what happened next in the independent scene?
Oh, I was going to ask you if was that it for Rocky Mountain Pro? Obviously, you made it home safe, and
yeah, I white knuckled it home, but yeah, I made it home safe.
Speed Demon.
No, the roads were just that bad.
I know, just giving you a hard time.
I'm not the Speed Demon. That's Lepsy.
Oh, don't. That's a whole different podcast on its own. Well, as far as the independent scene and as far as it relates to Violent Wrestling Podcast, VWP, we're very excited, and we apologize again for last week. Things didn't work out for our guest, Bam Bam Malone, to come on and do an interview. He's still going to come on. That's still going to happen. Just last week was a big cluster, and he'll still be on. He even suggested maybe coming on tonight, and told man, it's Thanksgiving. Enjoy time with your family. We'll have you on in the next week or two. And he was, no pun intended, like thankful for our understanding of the situation, and he'll be on a future episode, and we'll get to hear from the man himself. But in other news, since we do cover a lot of the indie stuff, a couple of promotions have reached out to us. We've reached out to them. A couple in particular Bayou Independent Wrestling out of West Monroe, Louisiana. We've been talking to for how long has it been? A little over a week, right at it.
Something like that.
Yeah,
You've been the main contact with them.
and they travel, like they do Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, like basically, like if you think of the Southeast Conference in football, like they travel there. Really good promotion. They went through some rough times about 2010 to 2011. They're getting their traction back, and they're wanting to have a voice to talk about them, and we're wanting to talk about them. So that's kind of like a marriage made in heaven kind of thing, where we're gonna start talking about them in the future. Excuse me. And they and I'm not gonna give my exact location, but I'm close to that area, and so I'll be going to shows and getting interviews and stuff that will be aired, not live per se, but will be uploaded onto our channel where you can hear from some of the wrestlers. And if you haven't heard of Barrett Brown, Google his name. He's their current heavyweight champion. He's really good. Bam Bam occasionally wrestles for them. Then you have stars like Thunder Rosa shows up. She actually just got voted 2000. Actually, she came in second place for 2018 Women Wrestler of the Year for the promotion. Iva Elise has come through. Some bigger independent names. Joey Ryan's been there. Filthy Tom Lawler's been there. You can find them. Unfortunately, they don't have a Twitter account yet that I know of. With the holidays and stuff, I will have more information next week. You can find them on Facebook at Bayou, Bayou, Independent Wrestling. They have shows. They're stacked for the end of this year in 2019, all the way from East Texas to the Panhandle of Florida, with some pretty cool looking cards. And then another one that kind of just worked out. And I really have to send a special thanks to Bam Bam for a lot of this stuff. It's Heroes of Wrestling. No, not the 1999 pay-per-view. Hero Wrestling. Shut up, Adam. Heroes of Wrestling out of
Hey,
Dallas.
isn't that Terry Funk?
You hush your mouth.
I'm sorry, folks. I couldn't resist.
He couldn't resist. Couldn't help himself.
Heroes of Wrestling out of Dallas. They air, and I found this out a few days ago. They air on Facebook Live every Thursday at 8 Eastern, 7 Central. That's their platform at the moment. They're going to expand out, and you can find them afterwards, like on YouTube and whatnot. But every Thursday you can find them live, 8 Eastern, 7 Central. Catch up on the action. They also have some guest quote unquote stars, if you will. Bam Bam's their current heavyweight champion, which is very sweet. And we're also going to be having, from both those promotions, from time to time, people coming on, wrestlers, people in the company coming on, doing interviews, that kind of stuff. You know, it's going to not be a weekly thing. You know, everybody has lives and stuff like that. But just like we're excited to have them, I think they're both kind of excited to, you know, wrestlers love to talk. So So that'll be pretty neat. We're kind of in the pipeline from a month and a half, 2 months ago that hasn't quite been fleshed out yet because of other reasons. We're gonna start maybe doing 2 shows a week. One just an independent show, then one WWE, broader, more televised or more known stuff, and just because the independent scene is our baby, like that's why we started this. So we're gonna try to get together on when everybody can do 2 shows a week. Let's see. Speaking of MLW, Matt, and he's on mute. There you go.
MLW, they started the Fightland portion of MLW Fusion last week, and it had a great main event. Sami Callihan versus Filthy Tom Lawler in a Chicago street fight. A VHS tape was involved.
They didn't bury all those?
They found them in the same pile that they found that old
E.T. game?
Oh, you bastard.
And it was a great main event, like probably my favorite MLW match to date.
Oh, wow. That's saying a lot.
Yeah, it's a hardcore match all the way. Very violent. The finish of the match came where Filthy Tom Lawler was able to get a chokehold on Sami Callihan, and beforehand he had smashed Sami Callihan's bat, and so he used a shard of the bat to actually stab Sami Callihan, and he ended up getting the win. Filthy Tom Lawler wins the match.
Nice.
And then after the match, that Judas Simon Gotch sold out. He lured Filthy Tom Lawler into a room where Promociones hold on, let me check the name of it. Let me see it.
That's the searching music for Matt.
Yes.
Promociones Doradas. That's it. And so, LA Park, the 2 LA Parks are there. Ricky Martinez is there. Low Key is there. Simon Gotch lured Filthy Tom Lawler into a trap. And that is unforgivable. However, a match has been made for MLW Never Say Never on December the 13th, because Simon Gotch and Filthy Tom Lawler will face off in a no-holds-barred fight.
Oh, shit.
That's out of nowhere.
Like an RKO.
Oh, Jesus.
You hush your mouth when you're talking to me. Hey, check out that You Like Violent Wrestling. Hence the name of the podcast. Check out that Sami Callihan versus Filthy Tom Lawler match.
Oh, I will.
Yeah, it was great.
The excitement, she what flu? What cough? I will.
And the other matches were Size Matters versus Dirty Blondes. Joey Ryan couldn't really work because he had injured his pec. I believe the night before this.
We all know why he's laughing. That wasn't the P word you were expecting, was it?
No. Oh, sorry. Calm it down. Breathe.
And so Size Matters ends up winning, and also Ricky Martinez squashed Dr. Rex Bacchus. And also, an interesting match was made for MOW Zero Hour on December the 14th because Low Key will be defending the world title in a no DQ match against none other than Conan.
What?
Oh, good grief.
What? What?
Yeah.
The last I saw Conan, he couldn't walk.
Yeah, I don't know how this is going to work.
And oh, by the way, as an aside, the last person I'd want to wrestle in a no DQ match is Loki.
Oh, yeah. I wouldn't want to
Considering-
wrestle him in a kayfabe match.
Exactly. This is I'm not going to get on a tangent, but I have less than good things to say about Loki.
Yeah.
I
like
I understand he's a talent, but he's one of those guys who takes it too seriously.
and when he doesn't give a fuck, he does not give a fuck.
I saw someone posted on Twitter the match from Ring of Honor, where it was a Ring of Honor or Impact, where he did that front kick and knocked that guy out in like 6 seconds. As a shoot.
I think it was TNA.
I saw that and went, yeah, that's professional. But still, no DQ. How old is Conan?
5,150 years old. And if you don't get that, you don't follow Conan on Twitter.
5150. You shut up.
Yeah, he's 54.
Jesus!
No, Jesus is a little bit older.
Slightly. So a 54-year-old man who at one point just was in a wheelchair.
Wait a minute. You're not about to go in on Conan, but you watch WWE.
Shut up. I hate both equally. The idea, but this is.
One wrong does not make the other even,
Sir, I don't agree with either. But
I was hoping season 1 of Lucha Underground and that stuff with Pentagon and that the match which led to the Pentagon versus Conan match, I was hoping that would be the last in-ring we saw of Conan. Like, yeah, he can produce and creative and like whatever. But I was hoping that was like, because it just felt right, like his goodbye match, like it was there.
well, you know, with some of these guys, once they get that taste again,
Yeah.
it's hard. And I understand it being hard to give up, but you don't need to be wrestling at 54 years old for any promotion's main title. I don't care the size of the promotion. But those are my thoughts.
Yeah, so we also got some more matches for Never Say Never. Because we're going to be having LA Park versus PCO in a Falls Count Anywhere match.
I thought you were about to say LA Park versus LA Park.
That'd been fun. I would have enjoyed that. Someone's going to die.
Oh,
Someone's-
yeah.
The chairman.
Speaking of old as fuck, what the hell is PCO still doing wrestling?
And when did he all of a sudden decide, I'm going to, not only am I going to get back into wrestling,
I'm actually going to get good.
I'm going to get good. Well, the Quebecers weren't bad.
They're Canadian.
I try not to hold that against them. But the Quebecers weren't
Oh, no.
bad.
A live broadcast, I just threw a whole country under the bus. But, hey,
You're America's addict. Get over it.
shout out to 5BA and Dennis.
And Dennis, Google PCO while you're at it.
You son of a bitch. Opens Google. What a shout out. You bastard.
But my question with this whole thing is It's not that PCO decided to come back. It's that he's decided to come back as this badass, as this semi-hardcore.
Yeah.
It's a total career transformation for a guy who has been away for, 15 years?
Yeah, and dude got jacked, and apparently it's worked since it's 2018, and we're talking about one of the Mounties from the worst mid-90s fucking WWF.
Was PCO the Mountie? He wasn't the Mountie.
No.
Or the Quebecers, sorry.
Yeah, the Quebecers. Pierre and
All Canadians are the same to me. They all look alike.
you mean with beady little eyes and mouth and heads that split open at the mouth because it's a South Park reference, everybody.
Just let the references flow tonight.
Yeah, we're off the rails already. It's fine.
And also for Never Say Never, we get a World Tag Team title match because the Lucha Bros will be defending the tag team titles against the Hart Foundation.
And another surprise in the world, Teddy Hart is wrestling again. Okay.
Natty's friend. Total Divas reference. Fucking the references just keep coming.
Man, how do you think he felt watching that back?
I can't believe they did, and they didn't even call him Teddy Long. They call him Ted Long, Natty's friend.
You know that's WWE.
They didn't put Theodore Long. Theodore, well, or they call him Ted Hart. All the references going through my head, and I brought up Teddy Long. Tag team match, playa. So apparently we're going to get a Teddy Hart versus Undertaker match. One-on-one, playa.
That is just amazing.
It's worked for him. I don't know why. Go ahead, sorry.
Oh, I was just going to say, we also have some bad news on the MLW. Marco Stunt suffered an injury, and so he will not be a part of the Fatal 4-Way ladder match for the middleweight title at 0 Hour. However, they are still advertising it as a Fatal 4-Way match with a mystery participant to be named later on.
It's going to be Mandy Rose.
What?
And in unrelated news, it looks like Andrew Everett will be making his MLW debut in Miami. He will be working both Never Say Never and 0 Hour.
Ooh, Miami. To get to the Marco Stunt, that fucking spot was so uncalled for. So, for those that don't know, it's outside the ring. It's in an aisle on the floor. You can't see it on TV.
Thank God.
The only people that could see it in the crowd were those right there. And they did a Canadian Destroyer through a table. And Marco Stunt's leg didn't land right, got caught up underneath him, and shattered his leg. That spot is so unnecessary for so many reasons.
First of all, they had what? Maybe 7 feet of space? If that. Probably less. And so you have to work in confined quarters, and then you want to throw a table on top of it. Okay, fine. Table spots can generally be done anywhere. But you want to add on the difficulty level by trying to work a Canadian Destroyer in that environment. That's just someone that's something that gets called, and the other person needs to go, "Are you effing crazy?"
It was so unnecessary. Even if he came out of it fine, that spot was unnecessary.
Yep.
And I sent you the video of it, right?
You didn't send it to me, but I did see the video.
I will go through our message history because I sent it to you.
You want to go through? You want to go through our message history for totally different
other
reasons.
Shut up. You hush your mouth. What else is going on in MLW?
That's pretty much it for now.
And we don't have Lucha Underground anymore this season. Boo.
Should that be our cue to go into the, I guess you can call it breaking news of the day?
And I'm still not drunk? Yeah, breaking news. I'm not drunk.
That wasn't the breaking news we were talking about, but thanks for the update, Mox.
AA, did you have any independent stuff?
Nope, just the RMP stuff.
I feel so. I just want to come give you a hug because you felt bad for. I think we're going on like 2 weeks now. I don't like my friend being sick. I just want to give you a hug and a bowl of soup or something and make you feel better.
Hug would work.
So about this, let's see. If you're gonna start a promotion, I would what's a better name than All Elite Wrestling?
I don't know if there's probably better names, but if the rumors are true, you're not going to start off with a better group of talent. So, for those who don't understand, last month there was some news filtering out that saying that Chris Jericho, Jim Ross, and the Elite Boys were
The Elite Boys. What the?
The Elite Crew, the Elite, whatever you want to call them.
Heaven forbid they get called by name.
Okay, the Elite, Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, Hangman Page, Marty Scurll, basically the guys you used to know being in the Bullet Club, minus the Tongans. Was that better for you?
Nah. Cut. Redo. Yeah, keep going. Sorry.
So, in Cody Rhodes, we're potentially coming together to try to start their own promotion. Now, I know for most people, that would be probably, okay, that doesn't shock us. But the big part of the report was that they were potentially getting the Khan family involved. And for those who aren't major sports fans, the Khan family, the patriarch being Shad Khan, are the billionaire owners of the NFL team, the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Not to be confused with Shaka Khan. Fuck, another reference. Yes.
Shaka Khan. Shaka Khan.
Shaka Khan.
Okay, that was another reference. We're on a roll tonight. And they also, and Shad Khan recently just tried to purchase the legendary Wembley Stadium in London, but the deal fell through. Or at least they didn't proceed into a position where there could be a deal. So that kind of perked everybody's ears up. And as the report started to bubble out, guys like Chris Jericho came out and said, there's nothing to this. It's news to me, yada, yada, yada.
Dave Meltzer came out and said, no, nothing to it. Dave Meltzer is still saying, no, nothing to it.
Well, today, due to some major sleuthing by users on Reddit, I would wish I could credit them specifically, but I don't know who they are. But it was on Reddit. Shockingly, Reddit doing something good for once. Due to some sleuthing on there, they have discovered that trademarks have been filed with the United States Patent Office regarding certain taglines, event names, and promotion names that we theorize are related to this grouping, this rumor, because the address that the filings were made under was one TI. Wow, I butchered that already. I'm not even
I was
drinking.
about to say, what the hell?
The address was 1 TIAA Bankfield Drive in Jacksonville. That's
Which happens to be
the site of the Jacksonville Jaguars Stadium. And the trademarks they are trying to register are All
They're the-
Elite Wrestling and the
AEW.
acronym AEW. 2 names for potential shows.
the one is so
AEW.
great I almost fell out.
AEW Double or Nothing and AEW All Out.
The AEW All Out, dude, I about to fell out.
Which, for those who are
Holy
interested,
shit! Shots fired.
AEW All Out. For those who haven't seen it yet, they have a mock-up of that particular event name, or like the promo tag, and it says AEW, and under it it says All In, which is the name of the event that the Elite ran in Chicago.
Yes.
But over the "in," the word "in," they slapped on it the word "out." So clearly they are making allusions to the All In show.
Yes. That one, and there was another one.
Regarding these 2 potential show names, they were trademarked for the purpose of, and I quote, another reference, live streaming of video pay-per-view events on the internet. In the show Double or Nothing has been rumored as a possible name for a follow-up to the sold-out All In show. Not only that, there was another tag name that was trademarked called Tuesday Night Dynamite, listed for television programs.
Yeah, their weekly show.
Quoting, quote, featuring sports, entertainment, and the subjects of general human interest, among other things. So, to unpack what all that I just said, because I understand there was a lot there. And it appears that the rumor regarding Shad Khan, his son Tony, I believe, or Troy, I'm sorry if I'm getting the name wrong.
You're not sorry.
Damn right. It appears that the rumor from last month has more than enough legs now, at least in regards to the Khans potentially wanting to start a wrestling promotion. And there are other things alluding to this. The firm that filed this is also the firm that Shad Khan used to what's the word I'm looking for? To help. It was basically his consultation firm for when he bought Jaguars. He used these guys to give him advice along the business lines to purchase the team. So there are a lot of connections here. So with all that being said, what are your guys' immediate reaction to this new news regarding the potential of a new promotion being started by the Elite, Cody Rhodes, Chris Jericho, JR, and the Khan family, and what all this might mean?
Before we get started in that, I have to give credit because you and I just on the phone, nothing else going on. It wasn't a podcast. It wasn't just you and I on a weekend. We talk every Friday, every Saturday. I guess you could say, like, we're kind of close. The Browns still suck. We brought this shit up 2 months ago. Just randomly talking and going through stuff. Do you remember that?
Yeah, we had a conversation regarding this, saying if anybody has the money, and look, ladies and gentlemen, it's not about competing with the WWE because
No.
their market share is so huge. But if we're talking from a pure dollars sense, Shad Khan is worth almost exactly.
Chaka Khan.
Damn it. Shad Khan is worth almost double of Vince McMahon.
I mean, we delve deep into this. Usually we're just like at like a couple of teenagers on the phone.
Yeah, we
Looking
do.
at-
We do.
But-
You should see Mox's DM page.
Hey, you should see Rice's. But yeah, we delved, like, we both were researching, like, okay, his son's a huge wrestling fan. He's got the money. This deal is apparently falling through with the stadium in UK. And like we started kind of putting like, hey,
There's a lot of money here.
oh yeah.
A lot.
And-
Go ahead, keep going, Mox. I'm going to look something up again.
I think we both at the time in that conversation came up to the conclusion of, and Khan's smart enough to not, he knows going in, like, two things. You're going to lose some money, and you don't compete, head to head compete with WWE. You just don't do it. Not right out of the gate. You have to, first things first, you have to know you're going to lose money.
And he has more than enough money to lose.
Yes.
As of the year 2018, Shahid Khan, we call him Shad Khan because it's just easier, but Shahid Khan's net worth is $6.9 billion. For a comparison, Vince McMahon is only worth $2.5 billion.
You made that point on that call, and that's like, that's nice when you can just say only worth.
Only.
And like I got at the time what you're saying, but I even brought up like only worth any number and then ends with B billion. Like
You're fine. You're fine.
yeah.
But
I think it's great for wrestling to get to the point of the matter. I think it's great.
And just as another point, there has already been a Twitter handle secured for the promotion. And there's already been a web address secured for the promotion. Someone's...
Hey.
And go ahead, Max. I'm sorry.
No, and we're kind of leaving AA and Matt out of this, and I don't think we intended to.
No, I'm just a loudmouth.
I mean, at first you had me, then you mentioned the Elite, and you lost me.
Boo. I get it though, because
I mean, it could be interesting.
Well, let me ask you this. I know it's the Elite, but what is your reaction to not just being the Elite, but it being Chris Jericho and Jim Ross?
Oh, that brings up the stakes a little bit.
and add to that, somebody that has the money and the smarts to invest. Like, yeah, they're at least not for everybody. And as much as I love my New Japan, like, they're not my favorites in New Japan. Like, I mean, the more wrestling, the better is, the motto.
Let me also bring up, because I found the All Elite Wrestling Twitter page. And I hit the follow button because I want to see when this account goes active, what's going to happen. the account joined Twitter, according to the page, back in October. So they're already working to secure things, and so the ball's rolling. And and remember, this rumor hit the sheets in October.
Yeah.
And another thing I want to bring up: the Twitter page is already following 13 accounts.
Who are they following?
They're all arenas.
Oh shit!
The Fizzard Forum in Milwaukee, the Little Caesars Arena in Detroit, PNC Arena in I believe that's in Charlotte. T-Mobile Arena in Vegas. Quicken Loans Arena, home of the Cavs. Had to see. Shut up. Key Arena in Seattle. The Smoothie King Center. It's still funny.
I was about to say, can we just take a brief second in the hilarity of stadium and arena names?
This one, Mox, you might be aware of. The Toyota Center.
Never heard of it. Let's go Rockets. Let's go Rockets.
Target Center up in Minneapolis. The Wells Fargo Center in Philly. The Pepsi Center in Denver. Allie.
Of course. I know the Pepsi Center real well.
The Forum in Inglewood.
Inglewood up to no good.
And you know what the last stadium they are following on their Twitter page is?
What?
The Sears Center, where All In ran in Chicago.
Nice.
So,
are you looking at it from top to bottom?
Yes.
Okay, so the first one they actually followed was the Sears Center.
Correct. The very first arena they followed was the Sears Center, which, as I said, we all know that's where All In ran.
Yeah. But, you know, nice.
So,
I like it. I'm all for it. Like,
let's jump in here. What is your reaction to these new reports that there may be legs to this new promotion being started up?
I think it's great as it is. It's more wrestling, the better. And give them time. Over a decade or so, may be able to force WWE to start doing something decent to compete.
They if this is going to happen, I think one of the very smart things they may already have is the fact that Jericho and Jim Ross are attached. Because there are no two people on planet Earth who understand the mind of Vince McMahon better than them. Outside of his family. And maybe Hulk Hogan. They at very least know what it means to work for him. And they know what it means, and they know what he looks for on his programming, so that way they can come into it knowing. They already know. Those two know right off the bat. You don't compete with Vince as a startup.
No, that's why I said give him about 10 years.
The thing that WCW had going for them wasn't just because Ted Turner had an endless bank account. It's because WCW had that connection to the NWA. They were not a startup.
Yeah. They were, this might be a bad term to use in this situation. They piggyback.
Yeah.
Like with Sting and Flair.
You know, they had the Horsemen.
Well, if you give me a second, I was gonna. But they literally just changed the name.
Yeah. I mean, go back and look at those early 90s WCW cards. They still read like NWA cards. Sure, you might have a new star here or there, but it was still Flair, Sting, Steamboat, Zbyszko, the Midnight Express, the Rock and Roll Express. I mean, the list goes on. I mean, we know who all the players were. So,
it wasn't like from the ground up. We're going to start this company called WCW and gymnasiums, and all of a sudden we're selling out, arenas. Like it was, they already had a following. They didn't.
Yeah,
it's not like trying to get a podcast, maybe called Violent Wrestling Podcast or Ruthless Aggression Era Podcast, like off the ground and starting from scratch and trying to gain some traction. No, like they had traction already.
It's
like when they went from NWA to WCW, everybody already knew who Ric Flair was. Everybody already knew who Sting was.
It's kind of like Steve Austin starting a podcast. The audience was already there. They just needed an outlet, and he found one. So, is there? Okay, let me ask you this now. Is there an
breaking
audience?
Breaking news. Going back to the beginning of the podcast or towards the independent scene.
Mm-hmm.
Next week on Violent Wrestling Podcast, VWP, we will have wrestlers from the BIW, Bayou Independent Wrestling wrestlers on the show. They just got back to me. I'm sorry to do this. They just got back to me through text.
Cool.
So they will, I don't know if we'll do it Tuesday or Wednesday, but they will be, and I won't go any further than that. I'm not sure who all is going to be on, but they will do, quote them whenever we like. So we'll have some interviews coming up next week.
Awesome. Be sure to tune in.
Hey, yes. Me reaching out is working. Us reaching out is working. Nice.
Very nice.
But before the breaking news came in, I was going to ask, do you guys think there is a built-in audience enough for this promotion to at least start off on a good foot?
I'm almost thinking there's a built-in footing anti-WWE for this promotion to work.
If that
makes sense.
No, that makes total sense. Everybody, there's a lot of people who out there who don't like WWE. Who, I mean, some of them.
That's why they're trademarking things like All Out, All Out of WWE.
It is a clever name.
Yes.
And let's not forget, All Out may also be pertaining to some of their buddies who are currently with the Fed.
Too sweet.
Who might be trying to get out of their contracts.
Yeah, like the avenues and the possibilities are kind of endless.
And another thing I was going to ask is, WWE is currently signing a lot of people. Are there enough bodies, good enough bodies? There are plenty of bodies on the independents, but is there enough high-level talent to support a whole new promotion? Or do you think this promotion is going to try to play well with others, if it happens?
There's plenty of bodies that aren't in WWE to make it work. Good bodies. There's plenty.
Do you foresee a partnership with other promotions? I think that's something they've all talked about, that these promotions should be I apologize. Should be playing well with others.
I would go in thinking like you're going to have to play well with others for the time being, but you don't have to play well with WWE to have a successful.
Oh no!
Like
This
like you like WWE is with everybody's playing. When I say everybody, like Progress and Evolve are playing nice with WWE, and WWE is playing nice back. Like outside of those two, like there's good wrestling everywhere. Look at why this podcast started with Rocky Mountain Pro, and those are good wrestlers. They're talented enough. Give them a spotlight. Like they're out there.
Hey, Rocky Mountain Pro's got Mr. Number 495.
Yes. I mean, there's plenty of good talent out there that you and I and AA and Matt and people listening, since we do a lot of, yes, I said doo-doo, shut up.
Sorry.
Like, yeah, there's names out there, but there's also like very acute names that are really good wrestlers. Put them on, excuse me, put them on a platform. Give them a platform because they're really good. I will say this much. If they're going to go through with the AEW, the All Elite Wrestling, and I'm sure they will, it has to have a women's division. It just has to.
If anybody understands that, I would imagine it's Cody.
Yeah, it has to. And that is speaking of the bodies, the talented bodies. The women's division in all of wrestling is just
it's
exploding with great women wrestlers that aren't in WWE or Progress or Evolve. They're literally everywhere.
WWE hasn't gotten all the female talent, thankfully. So there are names.
I mean, you have your Taya Valkyries, you have your Tessa Blanchards, you have like so much.
Shazza McKenzie, Jordan Grace, Veda Scott. The list.
You could almost, you could start another Shimmer promotion just based on the independent women wrestlers.
B. Priestley. The list. There are so many.
You're a jackass. I don't like you, sir.
Hey, that's related.
You know why? You know why?
Know. But I think they understand that you have to have women's wrestling.
Screw the man.
Hey, it's no way to talk about Becky Lynch.
Hush your mouth. Straight up start this from 50-50. Straight up start it from, hey, we need 40 people on a roster to make a show work. 20 women.
20 men.
Go from there. Start it straight 50-50. Straight up.
And then proceed to put the belt on Brandy Rhodes.
You son of a bitch.
I'm sorry.
But you see, like, if you're literally starting something from scratch and something is so hot, but at the same time, like, these guys are actually pretty good. And this thing, it's not a thing because I fully support it, of more women time in wrestling and more, like, straight up start your promotion 50-50.
Let me ask you, is this... And I'm sorry, guys. I know we're being very loud and we're taking over a little bit, but
NXT. NXT.
Let me come to Matt real quick. Matt, let me ask you this, because I know you're kind of iffy on the Elite and all those guys. What would it take for you, Metal Matt, to sit down and watch this potential promotion?
I mean, I'll give any promotion a chance. Like I tried that Ring Warriors show a while back, and it just didn't quite hook me. So
Bless your heart.
I think what it would take is maybe a talented roster, a good announced team, just the overall presentation.
Good stories.
And AA, let me come to you. Is there anything you'd like to see out of this that would hook you immediately?
Violence.
Continuing stories that play over a period of time, and the storylines is what I would be looking. That would rope me in first.
There are some things though that I think they have to stay away from. And one of them is, I know for everything he's given to the business, you can't put Jim Ross on commentary anymore.
Yeah.
But Jim Ross booking a promotion?
I'm all for that.
Jim Ross learned at the feet of Bill Watts, who learned at the feet of Eddie Graham. There's something there. Jim knows how the business is supposed to look, be presented, and how it should sound, and all of that. I think if they're going into this with Jimmy steering the ship,
you're on Jimmy basis with Jim Ross.
There are things you don't know about me, okay?
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, we talk about the Longhorns all the time.
You're an S, sir. Your avatar of being an A is complete shoot legitimate because it stands for S. You're an ass.
But
for those that don't get this other reference, he's a Sooners fan, and I'm diehard Longhorns. So, and not you, Sooners fan, Jim Ross.
By the way, Jim, get well. Those pictures on your Twitter are gruesome. For those who
damn it, Naya.
Go look while I'm talking.
Oh, I've seen them. I'm the one that sent them to you.
You didn't send me any. Never mind.
Oh yeah. Can't fight.
To wrap this up, I think
which everybody should do. Team pregnancy is not a joke. Oh, sorry.
Okay, we're officially gone.
And we still haven't even got to WWE.
Oh wait, when that happens, we're all going to be on a full tilt. But to wrap this up,
you guys might actually get drunk mocks. Like I'm just saying,
the denials from last month are starting to look very hollow. There is something here. Something's happening.
And right before we came on the air, I saw a tweet, and it was just a wrestling fan tweeting, but made a very good point because the news is just like mounting, and everything that comes out about it, Dave denies it. Where somebody, and I'm going to paraphrase, Dave's in on it in some way. Like he does know.
Earlier today, Dave Meltzer was specifically asked, are you going to talk about this AEW thing? And he specifically said yes. So whenever the Observer drops.
It already dropped. It'll drop in a little bit. But he also said that there's, no truth to the story. He, wasn't going to. He must have, like always, talk out of both sides of his ass.
Dave's notorious for that. But regardless of what Tuna Melcher says,
Oh, good grief.
Yes, tuna melt, sir. Yeah. You can keep that one, folks.
Somebody at Becky Lynch for that bad pun.
No, please, I don't want to die.
She will obliterate you on Twitter like she's done everybody else.
There is something here that clearly guys don't want to talk about. The guys being mentioned don't want to talk about.
Yeah.
Jericho's denied it. Meltzer's denied it. Cody's denied it. Jim Ross's contract with NJPW is over, and his is coming to an end, and so is his WWE contract that he signed.
Yeah,
So
he's not doing anything else for WWE.
And he's no longer doing anything for New Japan as of, I think, this past week.
Yeah, like he's pretty much freelance. He's under contract for WWE until mid-December or something, but he's not doing anything else for them.
Way to spend that money, WWE.
Hey, now in defense, like, it's Jim Ross.
I know. The bottom line is we have to keep an eye on this.
I did not know Stone Cold was going to make an appearance tonight.
What?
You son of a bitch. Which perfect segue into, hey, some things happen in the WWE world.
Where do you want to start? TakeOver? Survivor Series?
Matt, where do you want to start? Oh, God. This is...
You shouldn't have given him that option.
Well, it's his show, too.
Matt, where do we want to start tonight?
I guess we can go ahead and talk about TakeOver for a very brief time.
Are you falling asleep on us?
I think that answers our question.
Right? Okay, no, you're not going to fall asleep. You are asleep. So I was hoping we'd talk about TakeOver longer than we talk about anything else.
TakeOver.
Matt, where are you?
Matt died.
Matthew.
Huh?
Matthew.
Huh?
You son of a... Never again, sir. Never again.
Wait, what?
Matt, we're trying to get your attention.
I just told you.
Go ahead and start us off on TakeOver.
Oh, well, I actually missed the first match of TakeOver because
God damn it.
because I forgot.
Let's start with TakeOver. Oh, I actually missed all of TakeOver.
Well, I missed the first match because I forgot it started at 6. I thought it was just the main roster pay-per-views that started.
There are words, sir. Words to describe such failure. I cannot say any of them. Okay.
Well, technically, the first match was like 3 seconds long.
Yeah, it was what? Matt Riddle's his debut.
Did you say Matt Riddles?
Riddle with an apostrophe S to show possession, you dick. And he's muted his mic because he's laughing so hard. I guarantee it. It was Matt Riddle's debut at a TakeOver, and he was going to wrestle Cassius Ohno. And basically, it was a squash.
Yeah. Knee to the face, and that's pretty much it.
Basically.
It was
a squash. The bell rang, and 3 seconds later, we had a winner. That was a squash.
And I think that was a good call. For as great as Cassius Ohno is, you want to establish the fact that A, Matt Riddle's a big deal, and B, he's a big deal with MMA cred. So, bam, knee to the face, knockout, get out of the ring. And that's what they did. I think that was a good call. So we can move on to the next. Matt, what happened next?
The next match was Kyrie and Shayna in a 2 out of 3 falls match, which I've only seen bits and pieces of when I watched NXT tonight. I didn't see the whole thing.
The only part of this match that anybody's ever going to remember is Io Shirai
Yeah, that was a great moonsault.
in skinny jeans. That was amazing.
If I didn't love Io going in, like, holy crap.
I mean, this had a big fight feel, which is something you always want. I think everybody got their stuff in, and it wasn't one of those matches where it was get your shit in and get out. It was thought out. They had a plan, and they wanted to showcase things for the future, but also have a good match in the present. And I think
Well, they failed at the good match part. This match sucked.
Peter. No. There are some flaws coming out of this match.
Oh, why would you? Dude, the match lasted like, what, 20 minutes? 2 out of 3 falls match last less than 20 minutes? Come on now.
Well, Mox, War Games had to go on for nearly 50.
Oh, your point?
Look, I understand War Games had to have room to breathe. It doesn't need to be 50 minutes, nearly. It was 47 and change.
Close enough.
Close enough for horseshoes. I mean,
And hand grenades.
thank you.
AA always coming up with the violent stuff. Like, I don't have to blow your ass up. Just hit it close enough.
Really, the story of this match is Shayna and Kyrie were having their match. When things started to go bad for Shayna, the horsewomen immediately jumped in. And this time around, Kyrie had a plan and had people ready to back her up. Coming out of this match, I think we're going to see Kyrie and Shayna on the main roster sooner than later. Same goes for the horsewomen.
I don't think Kyrie goes to the main roster anytime soon. Shayna for horsewomen issues.
They're probably going to run a 6-way.
Whoa.
Listen.
You know it's a Wednesday, right? It's not a Friday night. Anything goes.
6 women tag match, you dick. The horsewomen versus the team of Kyrie, Io, and Dakota.
Oh yeah, because they've got to gel the team. They have before it goes to the main roster, and they team up with Ronda. They have to, and I guess the one little bullshit that came out of this match was like, okay, they're damn it, now I can't say threesome without you giving me shit.
You brought it on yourself.
But okay, they're a unit. Damn it, I can't say that. Damn it.
We are already in the gutter, ladies and gentlemen. Go ahead and say threesome. It is easier.
Yeah, I'm that's when I started going. I was like, no, because that's gonna be
Trio, thank you.
I like the sound of that.
I think a bitch. 2 weeks in a row, you got me with that's what she said. So,
but yes,
This
that
was
story
horrible.
needs told.
and it's not just my dislike of Shayna. This match was horrible.
One of the things I actually enjoyed coming out of this match looking back on it, was that spot on the outside where Dakota ran up and kicked. Was it Jessamine or Marina?
Thankfully, they Jasmine changed her hair color so you can tell them apart now.
But Dakota ran up and just kicks her right in the face. But you can tell, and when you slowed it down, she instinctively slapped her thigh to make that contact noise.
And wearing pants.
But she's wearing pants. So it cancels it out. It's like, wow, that was all right. Go team.
But that's actually a good thing. Like, that's just an instinctive
Reaction. I get it.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm not.
That's a good thing. Like,
it was just something funny. I'm not giving him shit for it. I'm just saying I noticed it.
hey, you've made some jokes before, and I'm wearing pants, and I'll slap my leg laughing. Like, you say the Browns are good or something, and it might make a little noise. With this match,
Matt, I'm just not going to dignify that with a response. Can we move on to the next match?
well, hey, did you see this match?
Nope.
Okay. Did you see Takeover, Allie?
Not at all.
All right.
Damn.
Well, the next match was Gargano and Aleister Black, and this was actually a really good match. Probably my favorite match on the show. Honestly, I thought this was a great match.
And as bad as I just shit on the opening match, I guess Adam's rules, we're not counting the Matt Riddle Cassius match as the opening match. They're as bad as that match was. Like, how they do takeovers is so great. Like, it's not there's 12 matches and you're gonna be here for 6 hours. Like, it's just, I want to say this was my favorite match too.
People, by the end of this match, we're talking Gargano Black, right?
Yeah.
People, by the end of this match.
Short memory much?
I'm sorry, I was trying to read some in case I needed to use it. Sorry. This is being a professional.
You could have just left it at, I was trying to read something. Like, well, that's going to take you some time, so.
I hate you so much.
You set yourself up for it, dude.
I hate you so much. I mean, it's not like they teach math at UT or anything, but it's...
You son of a bitch. You... Kick him out.
Come on, guys. Do I have to separate you two?
Possibly.
Possibly. Another reference. Damn.
This was basically, for the way the night was setting up until the end, this was probably going to be one of the highlights of the night because it was the revenge of Black. It was the babyface was going over on his terms with the 2 black masses, and then him coming out and saying, I forgive you. It's like, holy shit, what is this? And they did it.
The as great as this match was before the second black mass, when he lifted his chin, he said, I absolve you of your sins. And then he gave him a second black mass. Like, and Matt and AA, and I'm pretty sure you know me well enough. Tommy fucking End. Tommy fucking End. Tommy fucking End.
He's great.
God, I love him. He is so great.
I think we'll be seeing Black on the main roster. His course is run in NXT.
Yeah, there's really nothing left for him to do anymore.
They made sure to get him his title run pretty quickly. He had his title run. He's had some killer matches. This for all of the faults of this storyline, because there were a lot of faults in it. It still was a satisfactory conclusion. They put on a great match. And now Black can go do what he wants to do. And I'm interested to see what's next with Johnny Gargano.
Yeah, coming out of the match, I was thinking the same. Not necessarily because this is maybe twice since NXT quote unquote call ups got thrown on the main roster, narrative. Aleister Black, Tommy fucking End, same person. This is Aleister Black going to the main roster. I legit worry about. I don't know. I know word good.
I think Aleister Black should be called up instead of another certain NXT guy that's getting called up.
What's your deal with Lars Sullivan?
I cannot stand Lars Sullivan, man.
I just want him to be Bad Luck Failing from NJ. Yeah. New Generation Pro Wrestling. Hey, let me get on the phone with the Collins real quick so they can name their Well, I was trying to say New Japan Pro Wrestling and NJPW at the same time, and it just came out like that. So, but like, just have Finn riding on Lars' shoulders, like fucking great. Like, just the visual.
Lars, I know we're jumping around, but since you brought him up, Matt, Lars has such a unique look, and what his style is, he should be a hit on the main roster.
Operative word should.
Should.
I don't know about unique look.
Yeah.
I just think his look is really generic. Maybe in the old school days it would have been fine, but nowadays I don't know.
Where did I see somewhere somebody called him Snitsky's 2.0?
Yeah, pretty much. That's pretty much what he is. Like to me, Lars Sullivan is basically a poor man's Braun Strowman, but he lacks everything that makes Braun Strowman good.
I think they're going to give Sullivan his chance at the plate because he has that look Vince loves. And he's very competent in the ring. I haven't seen him, do something and I go, well, why did he do that? He's a big guy. He brawls. He could move a little bit. He's got that. He clearly has what Andre had, that acromegaly. Because by the shape of his head and his hands, they're just bigger than other people even of that same size.
You jealous much?
A little bit.
Hey, what are your thoughts on Lars? I know you've seen him before.
I find him bland.
Well, then forget everything I said.
That's exactly how I feel as well.
There's nothing about him that grabs me.
If Lars Sullivan grabs you, you'd know.
I'd rather Curtis Cole grab me, but that's beside the point.
Whoa, we're getting in the territory here now, folks.
We've gone off the rail so much that we're on a different rail.
We jumped
track into but it's getting hot here. Another reference.
But back to Black, another reference.
Damn it.
Black has that aura, that presence.
He does. but so does Finn. And yes, Finn was the first ever Universal Champion. I'm the biggest Finn fan you'll find. Finn. Like, should I be suing a prescription company for taking Finn? Like, sorry, bad joke. Another reference.
You're the worst. But what the difference with Black is that Black has that not okay, caution, disclaimer. I'm not comparing them when I say this.
Bray Wyatt.
Yes, but I was actually going to say more along the lines of The Undertaker.
Yeah, I can see that.
But he doesn't, but just based on statute or stature.
I know. I'm not saying the height is anything to say. I'm not saying the skill set is anything to say. They're two different wrestlers.
Yeah.
But they both employ that supernatural, dark gimmick.
Right. And I get that, and I want that. But I think there's going to be he has everything as far as the gimmick. Undertaker has whatever you want to call it. But then you go to Bray and what the fuck, creative?
They screwed Bray up. But that's another point for another show entirely. I think Black's going up. I think Gargano's going to play heel a while longer in NXT. We're probably going to get a heel DIY reunion.
Just based on Twitter, haven't we kind of already?
I'm talking on screen mostly.
I know on screen, but like Blackheart and Johnny No Wrestling.
Yeah, they're starting to play into it.
Yeah.
I'm also interested to see how this affects Candice. If they're going to try to keep her separate from it.
Yeah, and I was gonna. I don't know if you said it or my internet just went up for. Get Candice LeRae completely the fuck out of this before you do all that, please. Like, let her do her women's wrestling and fascinate us and be Candice wrestling. Don't involve her in this storyline anymore.
Just damn it. She's too cute to be involved in this, and I mean that seriously.
Damn. And from the heart.
She's awesome. She's adorable. She's perfect as a babyface.
You could have just left it as she's perfect and
yeah, I could have actually. You're right. Yeah, I should have self-edited.
I mean, she's no Tony Storm, but
later. That's
a joke. That's an inside joke that only you and I will get.
Matt, what happened next?
What was the next match?
The next match was Velveteen Dream versus Tommaso Ciampa for the NXT title. This one was pretty good for the most part. There were a couple problems I had with it. Velveteen Dream was just cheating like hell in the match. I think they did too many false finishes. And honestly, Velveteen Dream at this point just comes off to me like a creative wrestler on W2K19. Like, I don't know. Like, him just kind of cosplaying as Hulk Hogan. And just a lot of the moves that he does. Like, I don't know. He just comes off to me like a creative wrestler to me.
To me?
And I like him, but...
First of all, Velveteen Dream is dressing as Hulk Hogan to troll Hulk Hogan.
I think so.
Yeah. Like, and that's what... In this day and age in wrestling, like, you have to be on social media to get a lot of the stuff that happens in ring.
These guys are giving... If for those of you for all of us who... Because we all do it. We are all guilty of it. when we complain about, man, these guys aren't given the freedom. It's not like the old days. On Twitter, it's virtually the Wild Wild West. And if
They
you
go
don't believe
all
me-
in on social media.
And if you don't believe me, go read Becky Lynch's Twitter history from the last 2 weeks.
And then you still have people, that's not Becky, that's not Velveteen Dream, that's not, they don't run their accounts. Somebody else is doing her tweeting for them. Like, shut the fuck up. They own their accounts. That's actually Becky tweeting that.
Do you think...
Sometimes.
Go ahead.
Go
I'm sorry.
No.
I need to quit interrupting you. I'm sorry.
Oh, like that's ever going to happen. Third time
You're
on the
right.
show, we know better.
You're right. Continue.
Jackass. But some of the things you see in Facebook wrestling, you think Twitter wrestling is bad. Shit, the holidays I have to get on Facebook to tell family members like Happy Thanksgiving and stuff. Happy Turkey Day. And for other reasons I'm not going to down the podcast about. Anyway, good grief. Some of these people on Facebook, like, what the fuck? Like, for instance, and this might come up later if we all stay awake long enough to, spoiler alert, Charlotte gets fined $100,000 for beating the ever-loving shit out of Ronda. Thank you, Charlotte.
No, she gets it for attacking those 5 refs.
Well, for the refs, but same difference. And there's people on Facebook like doing like shoot. Like they're literally screenshotting, Googling like how much she makes in a year and she can afford, and they're not joking. That's the saddest part. Like
The people who search out ways to kill kayfabe are the people who have no right to be bitching about the current product. If you're looking actively for ways to poke hole into something that is presented to you because you may not like the story, you're the part of the problem.
Like this one, or actually it's 2 people in particular. Like, dude, it takes because I have my own mental health problems. I'm married to somebody that has cerebral palsy and has some mental health problems. My son has cerebral palsy, which he's smart as a whip. He doesn't quite have like mental problems, but like I get it, so I'm not going to make fun of anybody. But damn it, if they don't try me to, like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, and that's cool. Like, if wrestling is your escape, but some people do just like lash out because people aren't considerate of. Like, not everybody's. Some people do watch wrestling in kayfabe. And some people do think she was like fined $100,000. Like in football, or like the Browns should be fined $1 billion for being the Browns. Like, But anyway, back to the Black Gargano match.
I will have words later.
We'll be off air soon enough.
Yeah, but Black Gargano, great match all around. And really, what happens next is yet to be seen. And they're both at points in their careers right now where anything is a possibility on both NXT and or on the main roster. Matt, I believe that leads us into the main event of the evening.
Yeah, the main event, War Games 2, the ragtag team of Pete Dunne, Ricochet, and War Raiders against the Undisputed Era. This one, it was all right. I don't know, like it wasn't as good as last year's. But overall, it was a fun match. But there's not really much to say about it.
And in case you're listening, Wing, since you were there live in person, I tried getting you to come on to talk about this, but you're too diva for us. So, I know you didn't watch it, but I'm surely you have an opinion.
Yeah, AA, what do you have any takeaway from this? What is your opinion on the War Games match?
Oh, just to rewind a little bit, because I know AA, Aleister Black going over Johnny Gargano.
What about it? What about it?
It's Aleister Black.
Well, I called it.
Well, I'm
We all
aware.
did.
Yeah. Cold med's kicking in.
Ooh.
Oh, sorry.
We're gonna get
We're gonna get
medicine,
cold medicine AA before we get drunk Mox.
War Games. It was a little, like I was alluding to earlier. It was long.
Yeah, it really was.
Sometimes you need to edit yourselves. I understand they were probably given that time to do whatever they wanted, but sometimes doing whatever you want doesn't serve the match. It feels like they were trying to find their footing a little bit, and then once they got it, they ran with it, but then it fell apart again.
And I'll just say it. I'll be the one at Fireman6809 on Twitter. Tweet me. This is third on the card out of my rating of the 4. Shayna saying being the 4th, that this was third. That it wasn't.
I said this past week I guest starred. It was the first guest star ever on Grounds for Development with Biff Kensington and
Loosely using the word star, sir.
fine, guest expert. How do you want it to?
Oh, now you're dramatically misusing the word expert.
Knower of all things. I mean, really, I can go on.
You're an ass.
I was on Grounds for Development with Biff Kensington and Greg the Hole.
Of development. But go ahead.
What was that?
Nothing? Go ahead.
You're the worst. And I said then on the show that if done correctly and given the time, we should be coming out of this event talking about that War Games match with the best War Games matches of all time.
And you're going back to like Jim Crockett promotion.
Yes, I'm talking about the first one, talking about War Games 92.
Just for those that don't know, like, well, there's only been 2. Like, no, check your history. Like,
there are a lot of War Games.
I was actually being nice to you before you got hate mail because he's PW Fan 01 at Twitter. So, I was trying to be nice to you. You're going like every War Games.
Yeah, I'm basically saying we should be coming out of it. We should have been coming out of this going, wow, that was the best War Games match since the Horsemen versus Nikita and Dusty and the Road Warriors. Or was it Magnum and Dusty? I'm sorry, I'm forgetting. Or, you know, the best one since 92 with Dangerous Alliance versus, you know, I forget the other team again. Damn it. Now that I'm on the other side of the event, it did never reach that peak.
That's what she said.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah, it wasn't like going into it like holy shit, you have Undisputed Era. On the other side, you have the War Raiders. You have Pete motherfucking Dunne. And you have the one, the only Ricochet.
I said on the other podcast that we are looking at really, depending on your feelings on Adam Cole,
Fuck Adam Cole.
7 of the 8 or 8 of the best workers on the planet. When you compare the pure athleticism and skill in this War Games match and compare it to those other War Games matches, this is the best from a pure athleticism standpoint.
Yeah, going into it on paper.
Because, as I said, probably the best athlete in those other War Games matches that I mentioned might have been Bobby Eaton. And that's saying something. So here we have all this talent. And it's like, that should have been just one of the most spectacular things ever. And I think what we got was a half-painted painting.
Yeah, and it went for so long.
Like, we got the double moonsault spot, which was cool, but to me, if you want to do something like a double moonsault, that should be into the match. Because that is a crescendo moment. You shouldn't be lasting further past the. Every time a major spot happens like that, and the further you go along in the match post that spot, the worse that spot looks in hindsight.
Right.
You know. So.
Yeah, I mean, it was just so long. That's what she said.
I quit. So I think they hurt themselves with some of the stuff they did.
That's also what she.
Oh. Only if she's into it. At the end of the me personally, and I think the Undisputed Era should have went over.
I don't know. I mean, the faces usually win this, so.
Yes, because the heels have the man advantage, so the baby faces are always trying to overcome it. But I think if you want to make the factions should look strong coming out of it. I don't know if you can say the Undisputed Era look as strong as they should losing in this match. But I'm not going to complain about the babyfaces winning because, my God, the babyfaces are awesome. But anything else from this match you guys want to add on? Anybody?
Bueller?
Okay.
It just didn't live up to my expectations. Like
it didn't.
War Machine, now known as War Raiders. You have, as much as I dislike O'Reilly and.
I'm sorry, I have to get this in. You mean Hanson? You mean Hanson and Mr. Sarah Logan?
You're an ass, sir. I just thought there'd be a lot more to this, and
yeah, I agree.
And it really just ended up like coming out of the match, like, holy shit! Can you believe this spot? Can you believe that spot? And that was basically the synopsis of the match. It wasn't.
It was very much a 2018 indie match.
It was actually worse than a.
I mean,
Well, I see what you're saying.
It had all those hallmarks. Long match, a bunch of spots strung together, maybe a little selling, but no story was ultimately told.
Yeah, like none at all. Well, the only story that was told was a one 20-second spot during the match, and then after the match, Ricochet and Pete Dunne. Excuse me. After the match, standing on top of the cage, looking at each other, nodding. Pete Dunne with his UK Championship and Ricochet with his North American Championship. Like, that's the only thing that came out of this match. Really?
That Pete Dunne and Ricochet are two of the best on the planet, and we knew that.
And
so in conclusion, final letter grade for TakeOver.
I still have to give it an A.
Matt, letter grade for TakeOver?
I would probably give it a B minus or so.
Yeah, can I change mine?
No.
Yes. Damn it.
Well, A has spoken, so I can't. Like, it wasn't an A.
If you had to regrade the paper, what would you give it?
B minus.
I was gonna say the same thing. B minus.
Yeah.
You giving a 2 out of 3 falls match barely 20 minutes is laughable.
It's not laughable. It's. I don't want to use the word disgrace, but like that. That's horrible.
That doesn't make sense. You had a main event that was oversold and underdelivered.
The only two. Yes, there's only 4. The only 2 matches that saved this at all from being like a complete failure were Black and Gargano, or Black and Ciampa, and Gargano. Or God dang it!
I know you were on the right track, and then you immediately
the 2 middle matches, right, save the Black and Ciampa and Gargano. Damn it! I did it again.
Aleister Black and Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa versus Velveteen Dream.
I could have done those 2 matches for 2.5 hours and been perfectly fine. A+.
When the show begins and ends like they did, it hurts the overall product.
Yeah.
Because you kind of forget what's in the middle.
Yeah, you open the show to. It's why the curtain jerk, like, we're gonna get the crowd going. The opening match did not get me going, and then okay, here's our main event that's supposed to, like, holy shit, that was great. And yeah, there were some great spots, but the match wasn't great. So, but the 2 matches in between, B minus.
Yeah. Okay.
Good Lord, Matt is about to rant. Let's move on to Survivor Series.
And you know what? Let's open with Matt's rant because I want to get to it. So, Matt, Survivor Series, go.
Also, Wing, if you're listening, we wanted you on for this since you were there in a suite for it, but diva stuff.
Matt, the floor is yours.
I mean, I never really have a rant for Survivor Series, particularly from what I remember.
The rant will come later.
I mean, Raw and SmackDown, certainly, but
yes,
Survivor Series, I didn't think it was very good. Like, it wasn't awful, but it wasn't particularly that great either. There were just a lot of questionable booking decisions, I thought.
Yes. In the interest of time, there's a lot of here we don't have to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
Because it ultimately means nothing. like the Raw, like the SmackDown versus Raw Tag Team Survivor Series match. It means nothing because WWE isn't counting it. So if you're not going to count that result, I'm not going to talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, Survivor Series, just the concept of Survivor Series nowadays, just it sucks because it's basically bragging rights, and it's just I don't know, I just don't care about it.
They don't treat it like a big four pay-per-view anymore.
Yeah, because like I think
not.
about a decade ago they wanted to get rid of it, and fan backlash they couldn't do it, so they just don't care about it anymore.
But a couple things
I had more fun on social media looking at people's reactions
to Survivor Series rather
Yes.
than Survivor Series.
and I actually enjoyed Survivor Series. But the shit that they got on social media of, oh my God, they just buried SmackDown. Oh my God, Fox is gonna pull out of the deal. They're gonna like, what the fuck? It's Survivor Series. It's nothing means anything going in or coming out of Survivor Series except for maybe a couple of storylines. It's basically Night of Champions mixed with bragging rights, and a couple of stories might come out of it, but good Lord, SmackDown could have used. They did get a win on the pre-show, which was ultimately like made a non-factor. But I had more fun with the after Survivor Series as much as I like Survivor Series itself, because there were some good matches in Survivor Series.
There were, but
I mean, if you take everything out of the picture, Survivor Series and champion, and just the wrestling, like there was some damn good wrestling happening.
I would love to be able to sit here and say that everything on this card worked fantastically, because there was a lot of opportunity on this card for guys to really go out there and lay it all out. The mid-card title match, the Rollins versus Mac, nothing happened. So I'm not going. There's no use talking about it because that was a one-off and nothing going to come out of it.
That's what's and that's what I was trying. Like, you have to go into Survivor Series knowing that with those kind of matches, nothing's going to come out of it. It's not that big of a deal. The IC champion is going against the US champion. It's not that big of a deal. But it was a good match.
Good match, but I don't feel like it's worth talking about.
Oh, well, and I get your point.
I will say, God bless the cruiserweights.
Yeah, it was the best match on the card, without question.
Best match on the card that ended in a finish.
I was about to say, because the best match on the card was Charlotte, as much as I don't like Charlotte, beating the ever-loving shit out of Ronda. No bias or anything.
Really, there are three matches we need to talk about, honestly. Really, even only two, if you think about it. Charlotte Flair versus Ronda Rousey.
Honestly, I didn't enjoy this match as much as other people have. I thought it was okay. I didn't think it was as great as everybody else thought it would be, and that goes for the main event as well. I thought the main event sucked, but that's later.
As much as I loathe Charlotte and Ronda both, the match wasn't great. But man, I love the beat your ass, knock your teeth in aftermath.
Everything from the DQ to Ronda walking back up the ramp was perfect.
in tears. Like, it was literally like, I'm surprised. Like on the Titantron, they didn't put "go back under your blankie," with the Becky Lynch quote. Like,
I understand that people were coming into this
spoiler alert, what
match.
pissed me the fuck off was she showed back up on Raw the next night. What the fuck?
We'll get into that.
Yeah, I hated that. I really hated that.
But
And
this-
also smiling, laughing, high fiving. Oh my god. Tell a story for more than a day. Please, for the love of God, can we do that?
Yeah, like I wonder why Ronda got booed at Survivor Series. I wonder why.
Ronda got booed at Survivor Series because people saw for themselves that she can't carry a feud on the mic or on social media.
Yeah.
It was kind of compounded by the fact that
People
by
wanted Becky.
proxy, Charlotte was Becky.
So they're trying to make Shari Becky now.
Well,
I think
that's
it's two different
a
things.
different story, but in that time, like that, they were trying to the women's Survivors match, and there was a poll. Was it on Twitter or Facebook? What do you think the reaction will be? This was before Survivor Series to Nia Jax, and I didn't vote. I just commented, she's going to get booed the fuck out of the building. And she did.
Yep. And then they immediately made her the sole survivor.
Which I called on the prediction contest thingy.
I did too.
Yeah.
I knew that they were going to write it because it's hot. It's hot right now. Now, granted, go ahead, Matt.
Oh, you can finish.
I was going to say,
that's what she said.
we have now become 13-year-old boys.
Well, now technically it's 12:30 Eastern time, so we can
be stupid.
Well, we started stupid. Now we can just be dumb
ourselves. I understand people's frustration with Nia doing what she did and then immediately getting rewarded for it. But that's going to have a short shelf life because she's going to go on the TLC and lose to Ronda.
And that's the shelf life ended the following Monday.
Yes.
It ended literally the day after.
But what I really
Somebody
want
gave a fuck about Nia and Tamina teaming up again. Like, nope. There were some boos, but it wasn't the boos she got just the night before and all this quote unquote heat. Nobody gave a fuck.
here's really what I want to comment on. What I loved
for the first time ever.
You can't see it, but I'm giving you the finger.
Well, hey, you watch that finger, sir.
I'm watching it. It's currently standing in attention.
Well, don't pull it.
No, I don't pull on that.
Damn.
That's what.
Oh my god.
What it's comment on is Charlotte snapping was one of the best things I've ever seen. Because to me, the story that was told wasn't Charlotte is trying to be Becky. That's not the story.
Yeah, there's two different stories, and it's asinine to see. Oh, and I don't get me wrong, because Becky doing Becky things with. Well, apparently I was on SmackDown and I got fined $100,000. Like, that's all great. But they're telling two different stories here. They're not telling the same story with Becky and Charlotte. As some people allude.
The story of Becky is the underdog who feels slighted, being that she was held down and replaced with someone who's repeatedly stabbed her in the back, who she thought was her friend, and she couldn't take it anymore. So she did what she did to Charlotte. The story coming out of Sunday with Charlotte is Charlotte thrives on being the best. It's who she is, what she does.
Which relates to the stealing of the spotlight, quote unquote.
Right.
Like, she has to be center of attention.
She mentioned it during the stuff she was doing with Sasha.
It's Thanksgiving. Perfect analogy of using that cousin that comes over and has to be center of attention every time he or she is around. Every time. Every get together.
Remember the stuff she highlighted in her book about how she feels she is the only one who can lead the women's revolution because she's a Flair. She puts that responsibility on herself as a shoot. She thrives on being the best, on being the leader, and being the one who's going to take these group of women and lead them to the promised land. Until she ran into a force that she couldn't conquer. And that was Ronda Rousey.
I was gonna make a snide comment, but I won't. Hey, what are your thoughts on the whole Becky situation and Charlotte? I know you didn't watch the match, but I know you read good,
A little bit.
so you had to see.
Becky and Charlotte. We
Did
know
you
who.
know- Hey,
I didn't hear AA. I apologize.
I know you're sorry, but don't apologize.
AA, what's your thoughts on Becky Charlotte?
My thoughts. Well, I'm kind of confused.
How
I'm
so?
not sure. I'm not sure where they're going.
I can
They're-
see where there's confusion. I mean, I can.
especially if you saw SmackDown. Like, what was that?
The story is Charlotte is experiencing a psychotic break. She couldn't dominate Ronda, so she had to get herself DQ'd, which leads to the beatdown of all beatdowns, which was awesome. The kendo stick shots, the chair, all of it was great. The
I do not-
turnaround.
Go ahead.
It was great in the moment. I understand what happened on Raw. Kills all of it. But in that moment, the crowd has never been hotter for Charlotte. Probably because she was Becky's proxy. But fans love a legitimate beatdown. They love a badass. They always have. So Charlotte dropping that Flair veneer and is becoming a wild person, clipped. And the turnaround on SmackDown was she is now someone who's she's doubted herself, now to the point where if I can't get it done one way, I want to get it done another way, and this way is going to be a hell of a lot more violent. I think you're eventually going to see a reunion between Becky and Charlotte, but I think that's down the road. As for where we go from here, I don't know. A feud with the Iconics, maybe?
Oh God! Please don't bury the Iconics more than they already are.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
No.
they already have. Like, if you saw SmackDown, that's already happened, and I don't even know what to freaking say to that.
I ain't just your honest opinion. Just out of the two of Ronda and Charlotte, like going into the match, coming out of the match. I think I know the answer. Do you prefer either one of them?
Out of the two, I prefer Charlotte. And you know I'm not a big Charlotte fan.
I know. See, you and I are two peas in a pod. But Charlotte as this snapping heel, doesn't that work for you more than this smiley woo
As
baby face she's been doing for
the
a while?
My name is Ric Flair.
Yeah, I like this.
The edginess.
Yeah, Charlotte. It suits her. She seems more comfortable in that.
The character of Charlotte Flair is definitely more comfortable. I do breaking kayfabe. I don't think Ashley Flair is quite as comfortable as she could be being the bad guy. Like
Ashley naturally wants to be liked.
yes, and so she's like trying to find this inner thing in herself, or like Alexa Kaufman wants to be liked, but somewhere she found this, like, hey, I work better like this, on TV. And she's accepted it and she's excelled with it. And that's not just me as like the number one Alexa Bliss mark. That she said as much. Like it took some getting used to. It took some accepting of, like, she doesn't like being the bad guy. Alexa Kaufman is a genuine nice person. Like but once she once she separated Alexa Kaufman and Alexa Bliss, like, okay, I'm an actress. I'm portraying this role, but I can be this person too. That's when she excelled, and I'm not quite sure Ashley Flair and Charlotte Flair has quite grasped the difference of, like, I can be a nice person, but if that makes sense at all. Probably doesn't, especially since we're talking about Charlotte, and since I've thrown everybody else under the bus. At Fireman6809, send me hate mail. I don't care.
The thing that hurts Charlotte is that for 98% of the time, she's cosplaying as her father.
Yeah. It's Rick and Rick and Rick and Rick and Rick and Rick and Rick.
It's all Rick. It's the robe, the music, some of the mannerisms, the woo.
And the one Ashley thing is the moonsault, which she can never hit properly.
She needs to go tune that up. But she's such a gifted athlete. She could do so much more. But once again, they've distilled her down to the figure eight, the spear, the natural selection, that moonsault, and the woo. They've done that, and they're like, and now go play your father. That's not who she is. Rick was able to be Rick because that was Ric Flair turned up to 11. If you turned Ashley Flair up to 11, she'd be so sickeningly sweet, you'd have to turn off the camera. But
what else about Survivor Series?
So she has to find that place.
Yeah, like all performers, wrestling or high school drama, and she's she's a lot better than she used to be, but she's not quite there yet with the dynamics of face. Like and it's a very minuscule thing, but it's not quite. If they would drop, like, give her new music, no more robe,
Yes.
not Ric Flair Jr., like, that would
So
help
to speak.
tremendously.
You have to learn to like to be booed. I know it's counterintuitive, but that's what you have to do. But we have gone on enough about Charlotte, because there's the other match from Survivor Series that we kind of need to talk about, and that is the champion versus champion, Universal Champion versus WWE Champion, Lesnar versus Bryan.
We're going to skip over just Super Strowman, right?
Might as well.
The 5-on-5 match.
Super Strowman, you're right.
And this is like where the actual pay-per-view, this is where I'm of two minds. Like, watching it, like, it wasn't a bad, watch, but the booking, like, Jesus, fuck. Like, why? Strowman pins 4 SmackDown wrestlers by himself. Poor Shane. And I say poor Shane, fuck Shane, but still. And they just, it was a good match. I don't get the agenting. And obviously, Raw won the Women's Survivor Series, which also, and it's so hard to say. Like, I actually like Survivor Series. Some of the booking was questionable, but I enjoyed watching it for what felt like 20 hours. Like, I didn't have, and the R-Truth backstage segments were fantastic. R-Truth coming out with the SmackDown women, thinking he was on the SmackDown women's team. That was great. Like, there were some high points.
One of the high points was Alexa Bliss's outfit, but that's sort of the thing.
That's for damn you.
A Triple X episode.
Whoa.
Yeah, very good point. I really. The thing with Strowman is he has now become one of the ultimate picture perfect examples of 50-50 booking. You kill him at Crown Jewel so you can build him up again at Survivor Series? Where's the balance?
And I'm sorry, spoiler alert. And you have to know that going into Survivor Series, his elbow, shoulder was blown the fuck up already. He was going to have surgery. Why book it like that?
Well, I've heard that his knees are bothering him too.
Okay, so you're just proving my point even more.
They wanted to make sure that they got all of that shit in because they know he's going to be on the shelf soon.
Well, he's on the shelf now.
Well, yeah. I guess they wanted to send him out off TV on a high note, but I'm like, if you want, which is probably why they didn't belt him at Crown Jewel, but still, you didn't have to murder him in Saudi Arabia. Oh, God, sorry. That wasn't a good use of the term.
Remember, folks, he's from Cleveland. He doesn't know any better.
I'm not from Cleveland.
Same difference. He's from Columbus, which is even worse because the biggest football team, most highest paid football team in Ohio is Ohio State. So
you're just jelly.
Peanut butter jelly.
You didn't have to run him down in Crown Jewel. to give him this moment at Survivor
The
Series.
bigger picture is why the fuck is Brock still in WWE?
Money,
But
money,
that's a-
money, money. That was another reference.
Well, you missed my peanut butter jelly time.
No, I didn't.
Family Guy reference.
Why do you think I did that as a follow-up?
I'm with you now.
Brock
But
is
yeah,
here. Brock is there because
Go ahead.
Brock is there because that's where the paycheck is.
No, it's not. There is
It
no
is.
paycheck.
Brock is there because he wants to torture us personally.
And I meant that on the other side. Like, how are you making more money when he's not doing house shows, randomly doing pay-per-views, barely showing up on a Raw? Where's the money in that? Your money makers are showing up on WWE live events, and
Let me rephrase. Vince thinks he's a moneymaker. That is what it is. And to get into this match specifically, the first 10, 15 minutes of that match,
I actually really liked.
I was laughing.
Yes, I really liked this match overall.
They did something different. Now, I understand people are a little squeamish at the idea of Daniel Bryan getting repeatedly dropped on the back of his head. But if you were one of those people back in 2014, well, man, I really want to see Bryan versus Brock.
And then we got Cena, which started the whole Suplex City shit.
Yeah, and that's why I hated this match so much, because it reminded me of Cena Lesnar, and I hated that match too.
And that from Survivor Series 2000 or SummerSlam. Hey, SS is SS, damn it. And ever since that match, we've got cookie cutter Brock Lesnar matches, except for 2. Maybe 3 if you want to count one of the Undertaker matches. The only 2 differences are last year's Survivor Series with AJ and this year's with Daniel.
But for those who were complaining, I can't watch it. He's in the match. He's dead already. You know, that I'm sitting there going, no, I don't have any sympathy for Daniel Bryan. The way that match started is how that match would have gone back in 2014.
Yeah.
Yes, that was exactly the plan.
And it makes it even worse because now Bryan is a heel. Why should I feel bad for him? You know,
Well,
it was a heel versus heel match.
I'm not even talking strictly from a kayfabe perspective. I'm sitting here going, you wanted this match. You know what it means to work with Brock. So if you have to be stretched out because you don't understand what the situation is, I have no sympathy for you. Enjoy the rest of the 50 years that you have left on this earth, forgetting why you walked into whatever room you're in because you wanted to have a match with Brock. I don't care.
I think that's a little hyperbole.
Maybe a little bit, but not a lot. But what I enjoyed was when they flipped it. The dick kick.
Here we go again.
No. What? Random AA?
But when they went with the ref bump, the dick kick, and they flipped the match. I'm like, okay, here, finally. This is what the story needs to be.
What got me, like, I was already, like you, like, I thought the beginning was, it was funny, it worked for me. like the goading of GOAD, not goat, like people.
Goat face.
Yeah. But when Brock went to pick him up again and Brian kicked him in the face, like, okay, now we're on to something. Okay, now this won't just be a complete annihilation. Like that first kick, and I was into the match.
They shifted into something different. Now, granted, we still walk away with Brock winning, but from the time that bell rang, at the end of the match, to SmackDown, the way Bryan sold himself was really the best part.
Oh yeah, definitely. That we have. If you haven't seen Ring of Honor and stuff, we have Cocky Hill, Bryan Danielson, American Dragon, and he doesn't like portraying that kind of. He's one of those that cheers the better, but he also likes boo me. I don't give a shit.
He understands who he is and
Yeah.
what he wants.
And he has a mind, like for instance, where Charlotte is still learning her mind for the professional wrestling business. Bryan Danielson gets it. He knows. Boo the shit out of me. Cheer the shit out of me.
And you know what I like what he did on Survivor Series? What I really liked? When he came out.
Yes. And he did the yes chant twice.
And then stopped.
Shook his head. Yeah.
But he had the wherewithal not to do the no chant.
Yes. He just shook his head and walked to the ring.
Because he knew if he started the no chant,
they would start it with him.
They would do it with him.
He gets professional wrestling. He gets it. And if he started doing the no chant, they started doing it with them, that's a sign of I'm supporting you. Like, no, he did it. He did his fingers twice. Shut up. In the air. Yes. And then just grabbing guts. He gets how to work a crowd, how professional wrestling works. He gets it.
I have really nothing to add to that. I mean, Survivor Series as a whole, I'm going to give it a C. I think some of the moments were great, but I have to knock you down due to the treatment of SmackDown. And some of the matches, portions of matches didn't click. So I think you almost have to go with something like a C because it hit on some notes and then missed badly on others.
Hey, just knowing the results, what would you give Survivor Series?
About a C minus.
Matt?
I would give it a D.
I said this the night of and even the day after. Survivor Series for me was a B, a solid B. Just if you look at it at the matches that happened, no storyline going in, no storyline coming out, like just the matches, a B. The internet reaction makes it an A+ for me.
You just want to see the world burn.
Yes, and holy shit, did it ever! So I like Survivor Series just for what it was, and then you see the takes and like holy shit. So I legit went full because usually I'm the miserable one, and what happens in wrestling, and people were pissed. Like, and they weren't watching wrestling for the wrestling. They were overthinking things, and so for that, I give an A+.
All right. Considering the current
I
time,
have to talk about Raw. Good God.
let's run through Raw as quickly as possible.
Let Matt start Raw. He has something to say.
Them using Roman's leukemia and peanut sets. Why? Just why?
Because creative or Vince or whoever, I don't know who to put the blame on this one. They think, oh, wow, it's funny.
I want to know who okayed that.
And for like the first time ever, I was able to be on Twitter and watch Raw at the same time. Oh, I went on a fucking Twitter rant, like complete. And I literally started getting DMs. Like, oh, you're funny. Oh, you're like, no, there's a difference in. Oh, you're a mark. Fuck off. Fuck all the way off with calling me a mark. There's a difference in storyline and being a mark and just a very distasteful, very uncreative, very lazy way of trying to get heat. And this might have taken the cake. And we the four of us have all seen enough wrestling to have seen very generic ways of getting heat. This might have taken the cake because that was fucked off. That was unnecessary. And you could have brought Roman up in a way that didn't involve he answers to his maker. Like that was like he was already dead. Like that was a fucked off thing to do. It was disgusting.
Well, if you go back and watch that promo again, you'll see that even Ambrose hesitated.
Yeah,
saying it.
yeah, you can tell that he did not want to say that.
Yeah. And somewhere like it should such a bad. You could have brought Roman up and got the heat you were trying to get without saying what was said. That it fucked off.
I'm still shook from the last few weeks. What's happening? But that was so far beyond the pale. I have no words. I understand wanting to use real life to influence kayfabe, but don't ever use cancer as a way to get heat.
And Ambrose is good enough. He can get heat without using that stuff.
Ambrose doesn't need it.
He can get heat real easy. He's good at that.
And also, I can't absolve Ambrose from this. I can't. You have stroke in that company. I know you do. The second one of those interns or writers brought you that script, you should have handed it back and told him, tell Vince I'm not fucking saying that. You have to have there has to be a line of decency you do not cross. But apparently, not in WWE, because we'll wait only 2 weeks to reference Eddie Guerrero's death, Randy Orton. Or we'll have the chairman's son-in-law dress up like his opponent, go into a funeral parlor, and mount a fake corpse. There is no shame in WWE. Well, I really shouldn't be shocked by what I witnessed, but here I am thinking, though they would never reference Roman's cancer to get heat. Oh, no, wait. What am I thinking? Of course they do.
Oh, it's a double standard there.
Go ahead.
Oh, it's a double standard because, they're all big about Connor's cure and all of that stuff.
Susan G. Komen having Titus O'Neil the same night as Roman's announcement come out and do a Susan G. Komen promo with all those cancer survivors on the stage. And not 3 weeks later, you're using cancer to get heat? You fucking pricks.
There's the double standard.
It is disgusting.
And even Matt, what did you have to? What do you have to say about that?
About what?
The Ambrose promo.
Yeah, like it was just disgusting. There's really no reason to go there,
Yay! You guys want to hear a rant, Mox?
Yeah, let's hear a rant, Mox.
Rant Mox.
Hold on 1 second.
One second. We have to wait for a rant.
Dead air. I'm usually on the side of just like Survivor Series. Like, hey, like not everything's bad. And next to AA, not just this podcast, but maybe on this planet, I'm the second most Dean Ambrose, Jon Moxley, John Good fan. And with that, I know my camera isn't on, but I assure you, I'm giving a middle finger to my camera. Fuck you, whoever thought about that, whoever approved that to go through. Fuck you and everything you've ever been or ever will be. Fuck everything about you. That's not cool. That was stupid. And how the fuck that got from an idea to a passable, let's put this on TV, fuck you too. Fuck everything about every fucking thing which led to that airing on fucking TV. Fuck everything about it. And there's channels where things have to come across. So fuck the writer who came up with it. Fuck the person above that writer who passed it on to whoever. Fuck the person that passed it on to the next person. Fuck Vince for approving it. Fuck Dean for actually saying it. Somebody somewhere should have said, no, this is not cool. Well, I'm not going to do this. Fire me right the fuck now, or come up with something else. I'm not fucking doing this. I'm not saying this. This is fucking bullshit. I would rather go to McDonald's and flip burgers for a living before I motherfucking made fun or try to get cheap heat for motherfucking using cancer as a way, as a storyline, cheap ass way, because I already have heat because I just 3 weeks in a row just fucking shaded the hell out of Seth. I don't need to use Joe and Oz fucking cancer as a way to get fucking heat. I already have enough heat. I don't need to use this. I can bring up Roman in a different way. Anything. But you don't goddamn dare say Roman has to answer to his maker now. What the fuck were you thinking? Why the fuck did it pass through so many goddamn fucking lines of past, like, okay, I wrote this. Okay, I approve this. Okay, I approve it. What the fuck is wrong with you fucking people that allowed that shit to air on TV? What the fuck? How the fuck did that go through so many hands to get to air on TV? Fuck you. Fuck everything about you. Fuck all you. My family's gone through cancer. My wife has gone through cancer twice. It's not a joke. It's not a wrestling heat subject. Fuck you. Fuck everything about you. I've lost family members to cancer. All four of us here, in some way or another, have lost family members to cancer. Not just friends, family members. Everybody that will listen to this podcast has lost family members to cancer. Fuck you and your cheap ass fucking writing, your lazy fucking writing for trying to get heat where there was already heat on a bullshit story to begin with by using, I don't really mind real life bullshit until it comes to this kind of life and death. Cancer, you don't fucking do that. You don't ever fucking do that. Don't ever fucking do that. And the people that wrote that from the totem pole, from where it began to where it ended, every single one of you fucks have been in some way, shape, or form affected by fucking cancer. Somebody you know, somebody you love has died or is suffering for fucking cancer, and you fucking use it as a cheap way to get heat. Fuck you. Fuck everything about you. Whoever nodded their head and said this is a good idea, this will work, this will finally turn Dean, everybody's gonna hate Dean. You know what? Nobody hates Dean. Well, everybody kind of does, but more importantly, everybody hates whoever wrote that, approved that, and made it through the chain. They hate you even more. Fuck you. Rotten hell for approving that. Fuck off. You should be fired. You should never be able to write anybody else's shit ever again, because that's the worst thing you could have ever done. Fuck you.
To the people who I saw all this week said, well, obviously Roman approved it. How the fuck do you know what Roman approved?
There's a reason why Roman didn't tell anybody he had leukemia to begin with.
Exactly. Because they would have used it by now if he did. This company didn't even ask This company did not even ask Ric Flair's permission to use his dead son in a promo. You think they're going to ask Roman about if they can use his cancer? A family's tragedy wasn't too sacred enough for them not to use it.
And let's not forget, he committed suicide.
And he committed suicide, exactly.
It's not like just
It was an overdose.
Not to make light of anybody dying, but it's not like an accident, like a car wreck. He committed suicide, and they used Reed in a damn storyline.
Reed died of a drug overdose.
Well, yeah.
Depending on your feelings, but Reed died of a drug overdose. But even still, they used that in a promo, and we know how that affected Ashley, and they still used it. So this isn't beyond the pale for them, but it's still fucking disgusting. And the shit goblin who decided that was a good idea needs to be shot at the sun. Fuck you. Fuck the horse you rode in on. If I ever find out who okayed that, I want their name to be plastered on every dirt sheet available. Because their name needs to be known and they need to be run out of the wrestling business. It's a fucking disgrace.
Even if, and let's just speculate for a second, even if Roman said, hey, cool with me, the warped mind that came up with that, fuck you. Even if they called Joe, and Joe's like, hey, if it works, if it's going to help, because Joe is and not in a bad way, Joe will do what it takes to help the company. If Joe gave the okay, let's say that happened, like, hey, but the person that would even suggest using it, fuck you. I don't think in the year we've been doing VWP, I've ever ran it like that before.
This is the shoe-in for to me, this is the shoe-in for the Wrestling Observer's worst promotional tactic of the year. When you decide that that was a good idea, you don't deserve the benefit of the doubt anymore.
Okay, maybe you haven't heard the worst rant. And I'm like literally shaking my head, and what fucking pisses me off more than anything is the motherfuckers coming out and saying, see, told you it was work, they're using it in a storyline. You stupid fucks! You stupid fucks! It's not storyline. It's not kayfabe. You stupid motherfuckers. Told you, they're just trying to get Roman cheered. You stupid motherfuckers. No, they're not.
We could rant forever. And
Let's move on. Let's move on.
We have to, because we'd be on this topic all night. The other thing from Raw I want to talk about, and you guys mentioned it earlier.
Sorry. I apologize to you four and anybody listening. I'm sorry. But, man.
That was, no, you have nothing to apologize for.
No.
Because that was beyond. But the other thing I want to talk about, Ronda takes the beatdown of all beatdowns. And then shows up the next night high-fiving the fans and smiling like nothing ever happened.
Yeah.
And not only that, she defends the title against Mickie James and wins in 2 minutes.
Thanks for playing, Mickie.
And a horrible match. You can tell rehearsed Ronda matches, and see, I can go from angry to calm real quick. And you can tell, like, shut up. You can tell rehearsed matches, and like, this wasn't planned, but we're gonna do it because this match sucks so bad. Not just the no selling of, my throat and head just got put through a chair, stomped on, got beat to shit by a kendo stick.
if anybody who had any brains was writing this product, Ronda would be off TV for 3 months.
Yeah, I said that the day after, like I didn't expect her to have the Nia match until Royal Rumble, like keep her off TV, and she shows up and didn't even limp or anything, like show no signs of like just smiling and coming down to the ring and high fiving. They were like, "What the fuck?"
And then challenges the male general manager to a match. Like, I understand I understand bringing up gender there probably isn't the point, but she had no back down. She had no selling, no.
Yeah, there was absolutely no selling.
But you can tell the fans were getting to her though.
Yeah.
With the Becky. She knows she's getting owned.
Oh yeah.
If I have to hear.
And at 5:68:09, that afternoon, I said, if they were smart, they would, not have Ronda show up at all. Like maybe Survivor Series was riding Ronda off until Royal Rumble, broken esophagus or crushed esophagus or whatever. And then I quote tweeted myself, like at the very least, like, sell what happened the night before, like literally 24 hours.
Yeah.
Like limp, come out with the bandage around your neck. Nope. And then I quote tweeted myself again, like they did half of this. Like she showed up in her gears so you could see some of the marks on her legs and arms and stuff, but she no-sold it.
She didn't even have the common decency to change her voice.
Yeah, like having laryngitis or, like, nope, happy-go-lucky Ronda.
Last night in that match with Charlotte, she crushed my throat.
Yeah.
I'm still able to talk, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to do something. Don't just walk out there like, I'm still the baddest woman on the planet.
I still say we need to raise a crowd fund for, which we're about to get to, SmackDown. For Charlotte's $100,000 fine.
We should.
Any other thoughts on Raw, you guys?
No.
Hey. Apparently that's a no.
SmackDown, honestly, wasn't much better.
Yeah, it was still pretty bad. Like, if Raw was disgusting, SmackDown was dumb.
And now here's the rant I've been wanting to hear.
Yeah, I was about to say, okay, now here comes Metal Matt's rant. Matt, you have the floor.
Okay. First things first. Charlotte gets fined $100,000 for shoving referees. Meanwhile, Brock Lesnar got fined $500 for legit busting open a guy, at least in kayfabe anyway. How is it that Charlotte gets fined more just for shoving down referees than Brock did for trying to maim someone in storyline?
Because
my only answer is Raw and SmackDown are different. Like I have no answer.
Because the WWE is like, whose line is it anyway? The points are made up, The points are made up.
The points are made up, and we make shit up as we go.
But that wasn't all.
This is what we're waiting for. Go, Matt, go. Go, Matt, go. Go, Matt, go.
So the Iconics came out, which I am always love. I'm like, okay, finally, they're going to save this show. They're going to make this show great. Guess what happened? guess what happened? Billy lost to Charlotte. And then both of them got taken out by Charlotte. Okay.
Deep breath. Deep breath.
He snapped.
And you didn't bring up the chair. I'm surprised.
Okay. Okay, so everybody else can grab a chair and they just give it to them. The Iconics, on the other hand, the crew member takes the chair back.
Because Peyton is a little tiny thing, and the man wasn't scared of her.
Oh, he should be.
Matt, I was telling you last night. They are going to split up the Iconics. It's coming. Now, granted, I don't know why, because even if you split them up, they're still going to be both dead in the water.
I'm still waiting for Matt's rant. He hasn't ranted
it's
yet.
coming. It's coming, and I'm trying to stay relatively quiet because it's after midnight, but man, they could be doing so much more with the Iconics. They really could. Like, especially at this point in time. Because SmackDown's women's division is at a standstill. Becky is basically a face that they're trying to have be a heel, and it's failing miserably. I don't know what Charlotte is supposed to be. Asuka and Naomi are faces. Sonya Deville is on the verge of a face turn. Lana is a face, apparently. Like, the only heels, real heels, are Mandy and the Iconics. And on a brand where you desperately need heels, why not push them? Like, the Iconics, like, with their gimmick, they are the easiest characters to push, to build up.
Their booking since they got called up has been baffling.
It really has. And it's like, on the first night, they were good. They were booked well.
On the first night, they showed up. They changed the trajectory of SmackDown.
Pretty much.
Like, they cost Charlotte the title. Their very first night.
If they were booked like they were on their debut, it would be fine. And look, I get that in NXT they weren't exactly booked to grace, but you know what? It was better than this. It's a lot better than this.
They have decided the Iconics aren't worth anything.
Boo.
They're worth a lot to me. They are worth a lot to me.
Great, Matt. How much merch can you buy as one individual?
Well, this new job and stuff, like, that's an open-ended question.
The fact of the matter is, they clearly don't see something in them. And what they do see, they see as separate entities. And it's something we've all said. Peyton Royce is going to be the one who takes off from that group. So if they're going to book them like this, you might as well cut bait and let's get to it.
And you didn't really have to throw Billy under the bus like that.
Billy, I don't have any issue with Billy Kay, and Jessie McKay was a pretty damn good wrestler.
She was. I don't know what happened.
I'll tell you what happened. It's on purpose.
It has to be at this point.
I think one of the things that with Billy, I think that hurt her and I don't like bringing this up. I never do.
Oh, good grief.
But can we please be honest? She is not comfortable with her newly found assets.
I wouldn't say that. I think she's miscast as a heel
Yeah.
because her indie run was as a face.
I think there's a little miscasting, but I also think she isn't just able to do some of the things because her body is different now than it was 5 years ago. And when you make those dramatic alterations to your body, it takes a while for yourself to readjust, to be able to work in a different manner to accommodate your new physical stature.
To put it in Adam terms, it's like, drafting a quarterback in the first round every other year.
I hate you
like
so
you
much.
have to adjust.
The words that I feel right now are just.
But my analogy is spot on.
It's just hard. You're right, Matt. They have miscast Kelly, but also because I don't think they see anything in her because she's different now. She just is.
And I'm not gonna try to like interpret your words, but I don't think the Jessie McKay that we knew from a few years ago, I don't think she is in that same place, if that makes sense. Like, she feels different. Like, for whatever reason, when she came to WWE and became Billie Kay with Heidi Lovelace, which is now Peyton Royce.
Peyton Royce was CJ.
Oh.
Heidi Lovelace is Ruby Riott.
Yeah, shut up. I was like, I had.
You had the Riott Squad on the brain.
Well, I had messing with the Browns on one side, but yeah, I don't think she herself has quite adjusted for whatever reason to Jessie McKay, to Billie Kay, quite as well for whatever reason as she could have or should have or whatever. It's there. It's completely there. But even back in the NXT days, like the time they showed up, debuted on NXT, like that's not she hasn't been the Jessie McKay that I knew. Whether it's on purpose, like deliberately, your heels, you're just supposed to be obnoxious, heat, whatever reason.
I think it's on purpose.
So
because her indie stuff is good.
Yeah,
I think it's that she's miscast as a heel, at least in ring. Like, her character work is good as a heel, but I think her in-ring work, it was better as a face.
It's almost like, if this makes sense at all, it's if you can relate to Eva Marie being purposefully bad, if that makes sense at all. Like, they're trying to not get them over. Like, great promo, people, call them like banshees, but they're trying to, like, that's down as the in-ring talent, because they both have talent. They're both good, but their
presentation is off.
Because WWE isn't bothering doing anything with them.
I mean, I've said this before. Whoever's on WWE's Glam Squad needs to be fired.
I mean, and again, I think that's the intention as well.
They they paint poor Billy Kay.
Oh yeah.
With that bright red lipstick and the caked on makeup. It's not a good look.
But again, like I said, I think that's the intention as well, to sort of over glamour up, if that makes any sense.
No, that makes sense. They're trying to paint her, no pun intended, paint her in a certain light.
Mm-hmm.
I
They're
mean,
trying to make you dislike her without actually getting hill heat. They're, if that makes sense.
no, that makes total sense.
I mean,
Like,
who could dislike her? I mean, really.
Uh,
Do you really want to go down that road? No, I like them. I do like them. It's just
Good lad. I guess you're not so bad for a Browns fan after all.
you need to stop. You need to stop listening to
Damn.
lies.
When you're getting shade from Matt like that, damn.
It's just when after a while you have to put up or shut up, regardless of your booking.
And that's the I will speak for Matt here. That's the damn problem. They put up, but they never show up.
Do you know who? I'm
And I
sorry.
mean, I was just saying that maybe that's the point. Maybe the point is that, they talk the talk, but they can't walk the walk. But for God's sake, you need all the heels you can get here. Just have
And you
them
don't have
look
to walk the
strong
walk,
at least once. At least once, make them look strong.
You don't have to go on a Oscar winning streak.
Right.
But for the love of everything wrestling holy, give them something besides just coming out, talking, and immediately losing every week.
There's
Let
two of
them
them.
win every once in a while.
There's two of
Yeah.
them. They should be cheating to win every week.
Hey, I dare ask, what are your thoughts on the Iconic Duel?
My thoughts on the Iconics.
Just in it there. That was
I have to.
She's just building up the anticipation.
No, I don't think she is.
Yeah, I really don't have much to say about the women's division.
Ooh.
But
Well, okay, let me ask you, why is that?
well, once again, there's really no female character out there that I really connect with.
Hot take of the night, ladies and gentlemen. Hot take of the night.
You know what? I don't think that's a hot take.
It's really not.
I'm the type of person who's more character driven than anything, so it has to be the character that catches my attention and can bring me in. Like this new Drew McIntyre character, he's got me hook, line, and sinker right now. More so than when you first saw him on the roster. It's the character.
Now that they're fleshing it out.
And as it is, that's why I'm not that real interested in the women's division.
So this stuff with Becky hasn't connected with you, really?
Not really.
Okay.
Her Twitter is at Lady Rashana ROS.
ROSCHANA.
We had a good time. Had to make sure you felt the love.
Hey, Mel, send her away, please.
Matt's currently typing a letter right now.
You're right. The views and expression on this podcast do not necessarily reflect on Violent Wrestling Podcast as a whole. So, that bullshit they put on pay programming.
That's the best.
Good grief.
Now, Aligato, she has a character that I like. She has a character I can sink my claws into, you might say.
Whoa. Whoa. VWP After Dark.
Hey now.
You're an all-star.
Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
I would just
Go play. Hey now. I'm sorry. I apologize. What really, when you look at SmackDown, Shane and The Miz, okay. Another McMahon getting on TV right before we get into the road to WrestleMania. There's a shock.
and I tweeted this 2 weeks ago, like, the very first SmackDown after the brand split. Shane, this is a land of opportunity. Survivor Series 2016, Shane McMahon. 2017, Shane McMahon. 2018, Shane McMahon.
It's a land of opportunity for the McMahons.
For Shane specifically.
Yeah.
But I will say, the only thing I wanted to touch on SmackDown,
I was about to say like this.
that Daniel Bryan promo. Comes out looking like Kurt Cobain reincarnated. Talking to the belt.
They're both from Aberdeen, but
It was a perfectly good that unhinged heel character, but with Daniel Bryan's spin on it. I liked it.
I liked it, but as much wrestling as I watched, and not to do South Park, like Simpsons did it, like New Japan did that a few years ago.
Hey, if Daniel Bryan comes out with a stuffed cat,
No, I'm waiting for Natalia to come out with the stuffed cat.
with a little beard.
Damn, there's so many jokes I wanted to say. If we're going VWP After Dark, but I'm not gonna say it.
With a little anvil. With a little anvil beard.
Oh, dude,
What?
the goatee. Nothing.
Nothing. The goatee. If WWE is going to bring that up nonsensically, then I'm going to use it. The feud of the sunglasses. It makes no fucking sense.
Oh wow.
By the way, speaking of that feud,
Go ahead.
happy 1 year anniversary to both
Rock Squad.
the Riot Squad and Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. They both celebrated their 1 year anniversaries of being called up to the main roster this week.
Who would have thought? And just honestly, because Mandy Rose was on Total Divas before she ever made it to the main roster. And this time a year ago, like if you brought up Sonya, are you talking about Vergara? Like that, Sonya's not her first name. Are you talking about
Sophia Vergara?
Yeah, and for them to both be like kudos that they.
But really, I mean, congratulations to Mandy and Sonya. It's a big deal. But my God, the story here is the Riot Squad.
Yeah, absolutely.
They were getting no booking. None.
Well, and the call ups of Absolution and Riot Squad back to back, oh, okay, this is, they're doing this on Raw and this on Smack, and how in a year things have changed.
Now, granted, things got thrown into a wrench got thrown into things
with Paige.
with
Yeah.
Absolution because of Paige. But I'm shocked they didn't feel like continuing the story. You still could have continued the story, but really you couldn't because everybody wanted to cheer Paige.
Well, yeah.
And Absolution were a heel team. Man, how people have gravitated to the Riot Squad is absolutely fantastic.
I've had squad goals since day one. So
Squad. I've been
You're
watching. Sorry. I was watching some of Liv Morgan's Instagram stories on YouTube. And they're just so likable. I can't help it.
and they really are. That's and I don't know what you in kayfabe and storyline because they are so likable. Like all three of them. But you can't just turn all three of them like likable faces like all at once. Like, but they would all work the same.
I said it before because
Yeah.
she's become one of the standout stars on the team. But thank God Liv Morgan got called up with Ruby Riott and Sarah Logan.
Oh, definitely.
Being the veterans they are.
And we've talked about this, just through the phone. And you get so many of, like, for instance, on the opposite spectrum, Nikki Cross not getting called up with Sanity. Like, okay, that right off the bat hurt Sanity. The best thing that happened to Liv Morgan, she got called up with those two. She didn't get called up as a solo act. Like, it's really progressed her. You can just see it's progressed her as a performer and as a person performing. Like, she's comfortable. She was already comfortable on her own in NXT, don't get me wrong.
Right.
But there's a difference in doing shows in Full Sail and traveling the WWE universe and
doing 12,000 seat arenas.
Yeah, like, and the best thing they've done in a while was put them together, and because Liv is just eating it up and being comfortable, I guess, because she has those two with her. Like, it's not like, oh, I'm on the main roster now and all by myself. Like, she has that, and it's worked for her. That and Blue Jolly Ranchers, like the
Blue Jolly Ranchers. She found something that made her stand out. Because what was everyone calling Liv Morgan before she started coming out with a blue tongue? Dime Store Carmella. Or Dime Store Alexa Bliss.
knockoff. You say Dime Store.
Same difference.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was. You beat me to my word, sir.
But
yeah, that's what everybody like. That's she has Carmella's gimmick. Okay, now what? And now she's found her own footing
on the roster and within the Riot Squad.
The funniest part is she's actually from where Carmella claims she's from.
I know, right? And look, I'll be honest. When Liv Morgan got called up, I said some heinous shit.
Not you, never.
Bite me, asshole. I said some unkind things because I was like, they're clearly calling her up just to be so that way they don't feel like they've sunk money into a character that never did anything in NXT. She was in developmental forever, and it never seemed like it was going to click. But then they had the wherewithal to put her with two veterans who knew the business, and then let her figure her character out for herself and add touches of her to it. And now all of a sudden, she's one of them. She's a more vibrant character, and oh, by the way, her ring work has gotten exponentially better.
That's a 50-cent word, sir.
I try my best.
Matt, what do you think about the Riot Squad as they've improved?
On their 1-year anniversary?
I like them. I do like them. I still think they need to split up because I think Ruby could achieve so much more on her own. And I think that could go for really all of them as well. But I do like them as a unit, as a stable. So,
on a follow-up to that, among the three of them, who goes to what alignment? Do Sarah and Liv turn on Ruby and make Ruby a face? Like how? Because there's so many options.
They're going to put the belt on Ruby in 2019.
I was asking Matt.
So. It's possible.
You know what? Don't just ask an open-ended question.
Well, I literally said Matt.
I don't hear these things.
And also, I miss black-haired Ruby.
Oh, yeah.
But I will say the longer hair just adds to the character.
It works. It really does work.
And if you guys haven't played 2K19, I haven't played, but I've been on enough hangouts with Matt for Big Head. So please do yourself a favor and play Big Head 2K19. And Bianca Belair from NXT, because we all watched it together, and I was like, watch her hair, like her ponytail or braid thing. Like, watch it come into the ring like 5 seconds after she gets in the ring. And it does. Like, her hair, she can be in the middle of the ring, her hair's still, like, in the crowd.
Oh, you boys and your games.
What's that supposed to mean?
Nothing, I'm being an asshole. But no, I just wanted to make sure we mentioned the 1-year anniversaries for those 5 ladies. Like I said,
because they really have.
They all still have bright futures ahead of them.
Yeah, I was trying to word it to they as far as main roster stuff, like they haven't quote unquote like made it as far as like championships or domination or that. But damn if the future isn't bright.
It's blazing bright. Like I said, Ruby, if I had to put money on it, Ruby's going to win the belt next year.
I hope so.
If they're going to do the women's tag titles, save for a couple of the teams, I can't think of a better pairing than Sarah and Liv from a character work standpoint.
And low-key, Sarah in real life, like outside of kayfabe, Sarah might be the best of the trio. Sarah is so silly.
Watch their ride-along episode.
Watch that. Just follow Sarah on social media, Instagram, Twitter. Sarah is Sarah's just Sarah. Yeah.
That was awesome. And I also think, since they're probably going to go with a babyface Sonya Deville, she could be a breakout star in 2019. There's a following there if they choose to use it.
My only issue with that is MMA, and then what is inevitably coming with MMA. And that sucks for Sonya.
She needs a character update.
Yeah,
Because you're right. She's going to be about the sixth most important MMA figure in the company. If you
and the
include
best wrestler. Like she's gonna get lost in the if
Shuffle.
she keeps the yeah.
I will say I don't typically like them going this route. But she is an open lesbian. And there's if they want to have representation, like they claim they want,
they can't handle a cancer storyline well
right?
enough.
No, you're right. If they're going to use cancer the way they did, they'd use her sexuality in a way. No, you're right. Forget I said anything.
I just don't trust them doing it. And I agree with you. Like the stories there, and I do harp on people like, oh, WWE is so bad, and they like fuck. Cut it some slack. Like I'm not a WWE apologist by any means, but yeah, when it comes to that kind of stuff, like no, just don't even try, please. Is that about it for the week of Indies and WWE?
It took almost what feels like 5 hours, but I think that's everything. I talk too much. I apologize.
I think that's it.
I'm only saying that because my battery's dying and I don't want to. I just got the notification of battery low, which means I'm on 15%. So,
I just want to say
you
real
talk
quick.
a lot.
I do.
Okay.
I apologize. I want to thank you guys again for letting me on.
Mouth that I knew that wasn't really doing anything. Oh, I know.
You're right. I do. I am a blabbermouth. If I knew how to self-edit people, I would have done it by now. I ramble. It's a curse.
Where's your brother when we need him?
I'm downstairs. I'm hiding.
Damn.
Like I said, I want to thank you guys again for letting me on this week. It's been about that's 2 or 3 weeks in a row. Feels like I've been on. I always enjoy coming on.
I try losing count.
I don't know whether or not that's hurtful or not.
Oh, it was meant to be hurtful.
Okay, Dick.
Well, you and I talk so much outside of, but yeah.
I always enjoy talking professional wrestling, which is why I tend to ramble and go on longer than I should. I need to have a little clock sitting here telling me when to shut the fuck up.
You need one of the chess clocks. Like somebody gets a word in, you hit their side. You get a word in, hit your side. You're on the clock.
So, like Mox has said throughout the podcast, if you want to contact me, I'm at PWFan01 on Twitter, and I'm on Cage Side Seats.
Just to that's where all the hate mail goes. Like anything negative goes to at PWFan01. Like anything negative about anything you want to talk about, that's our hate mail Twitter account. So send it that way.
I will be unreachable this Saturday. This Saturday from about the time of noon to 3:30, because I'll be literally gripping the ends of my couch watching a certain football game this weekend.
Good. Michigan versus Ohio State.
The only game that matters in all of college football. No other rivalry, means as much at all, ever. Not even close.
Winner goes to Big Ten championship, right?
Oh, yes. Winner goes to the Big Ten title game to play Northwestern.
How the fuck did Northwestern make it?
Because the West Division is a joke.
Yeah, but Northwestern is a joke.
I agree, but it's But like I said, if you guys want to talk to me, I'm on Twitter, I'm on Cage Side Seats. I'm a lot less talkative when I'm typing.
He no type good. I know we're good. He no type good.
Why must you hurt me?
I was trying to give you an out there.
You only hurt the ones you love.
And it was my backup.
Okay, so those are my handles and everything. It is 2:00 in the morning on the East Coast.
Don't you dare. Madam Matt, where can they find you and what are you doing on Ruthless Aggression this Friday?
Well, you can find me on Twitter at melmat15, and I'm also on Cage Side Seats, hanging out in the daily and the nightly. And in the nightly tonight, we have just finished up the NSYNC retrospective. Thank God Almighty.
As a Southerner, and I think the only you're a Southerner, so you'll bless your heart.
Yeah, and blame SK and Mox for that, because I didn't want to do it.
I still said you should have done Judas Priest.
Well, maybe in the future. I'm doing Queen tomorrow. I'm starting that tomorrow. Gonna be taking a look at a good band.
Judas Priest isn't?
Oh, I love Judas Priest. I was talking about NSYNC.
Oh, okay.
Breaking the law.
But yeah, this Friday
make the most vulgar joke ever, but I won't.
And this Friday,
A, it's not true, and B, it was just a joke.
And this Friday on Ruthless Aggression Era podcast, we will be talking about Bad Blood 2004.
Ooh. You want to reveal who your guest will be?
I have him penciled in because he's working during the day. He is. We might be able to do it. Can't confirm that just yet, but hopefully it'll work out.
Hey, guess what?
What?
Matt.
What?
You're going to be working during the day, too.
Yeah, I am.
I'm so proud of you, dude.
Thanks, Moxie.
God, you call me Moxie one more time?
Moxie.
You know I don't live that far from you.
All I want to add is, Matt, how could you hate the group that's saying "I want you back"?
Right? Get your priorities straight.
I like the Jackson 5. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay. Touche. That was perfect.
AA?
You?
Seriously?
Excuse me. Where
can they find Cassie?
Oh, they can find Cassie and I at Lady Roshana on Twitter, LadyRoschana. Find me on Twitch at Violent Wrestling Podcast, No G in Wrestling, or you can find me on the daily at Ambrose Alley.
Shit, I have to give my information. As always, please don't find me. But I'm at Fireman6809 on Twitter. Somewhere,
That's where all the real hate mail goes.
you hush your mouth. The Browns suck. How they didn't lose on their bye is a miracle. You can find all of us on at Violent Wrestling Podcast. That AA just said no G at Twitter. Gmail, Violent Wrestling No G Podcast. Before we get to
our Gmail address does have the G in wrestling.
Yeah. I always get it confused. For one, it's like late, and you guys were like 5 minutes away from maybe getting drunk mucks, but maybe that'll be off air. And guys, please support your local wrestling stuff. And Heroes of Wrestling every Thursday at 8 Eastern, 7 Central. Heroes of Wrestling from Dallas, Texas. Not the 1999 pay-per-view, Adam. They do a Facebook live show every Thursday. Same? You hush your mouth. They do a live show every Thursday, 8 Eastern, 7 Central. Bayou Wrestling, Bayou Independent Wrestling. They have a YouTube channel. They're on their way of getting a Twitch channel where they can air and we can give you a better time. But if nothing else, Google Bayou, Bayou, for you Northerners that don't know how to spell Bayou. Google them, find their stuff. Really fun wrestling. Dallas Championship Wrestling is also a thing. They don't have a set time either, but they Google them and you'll find some cool matches. And like Bayou Independent Wrestling has like Thunder Rosa from, everybody knows Thunder Rosa. Like she's there. My favorite is Barrett Brown, who's the current champion. Like he's really good. I think you'll hear his name coming up. Like he won't just be a random name. Shout out to Bam Bam Malone for hooking us up for all these indie promotions that we'd like to cover. And follow me on Twitter and then unfollow me so I can conspiracy theory, like they're watching me. They're watching. CON conspiracy.
Thank you, R-Truth.
He's the best. He is, and Survivor Series 2 segments, and he was the best in both segments.
You gotta admit, for him still going strong at his age and staying relevant is saying a lot.
Yes.
You can tell he has fun with it. Oh, you can tell like he just envelops himself into the Ron Killings, like he loves it. Like you can just tell, like it's not like they put me up to this comedy gag, or like he thrives on it. Like you can just see it. Sure, he would probably want to do more, but you can just see. What do you mean I'm not in the Women's Survivor Series match?
He knows how to be entertaining.
Yes, and he always has been.
And the dance break.
Can't not mention the dance break.
Damn it, and I was about to say, like the Mellow dance break on Survivor Series might have, for those that didn't like Survivor Series, the Mellow dance break, like even Matt has to agree. Like, not to be confused with the other Matt, because obviously that was the highlight. But even Metal Matt has to like that. That was just fun.
Well, guys, thanks again.
No, sister podcast or Ruthless Aggression Ruthless Aggression Era podcast. Fridays 8 Eastern, 7 Central. Shooting the Breeze 11 Eastern, 10 Central. Saturday mornings. Two Guys One Sport. 9 Eastern, 8 Central. Thursdays. Like that Wrestling is 11 Eastern, 10 Central, Thursdays. Who am I forgetting? Hey, you have the list. I'm just going off memory.
I don't have a list. I go off of memory. But
Oh,
we can't forget Shooting the Breeze,
I said Shooting the Breeze.
Connoisseurs of Wrestling,
Mondays at 8 o'clock.
Grounds for Development,
Mondays at they
No.
tape, but they get posted in the morning.
Two Guys
Grounds
One
for
Sport.
Grounds for Development is Thursday mornings, 11 Eastern, 10 Central.
That's right. Connoisseurs is on Mondays. I got that mixed up. Two Guys One Sport, 9 o'clock. They will not be on this week, obviously, due to the Thanksgiving holiday. And next week, George will be out of town, but Chris will still be doing the show.
I just gave everybody you mentioned
Can't forget Fizzy's Wacky World. And I think that's it. I may have forgotten some, but then, excuse me, I'm not thinking straight right now.
No one is.
Oh shit, I'm on a podcast.
Yeah, and we're actually live.
Oh shit. Ladies and gentlemen, I put my hat into running for the
The what?
whatever.
The what?
There's a positioning open. Just go to the
That's what
polls,
she
vote
said.
for me. Oh, you damn it! I dislike you all.
Max,
I
take us
I
out.
love you. I love you all. I dislike you all at the same time. I think that wraps this up. This is probably the longest VWP ever.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's all your fault.
I'll take the blame.
And you can also at Cleveland Browns for any hate. Just they deserve it anyway. And now just add them. Just add to the fire.
And if anybody wants to give Max shit,
Oh,
just send him gifts of Will Greer running into the end zone.
You are an asshole. And you don't even enunciate GIF correctly.
I understand it's a GIF, but I'm a rebel.
Okay, so that does it for us, at least for me. I'm out because I'm trying to find a flight to bumfuck Ohio to punch someone in the face. So I'm out. Love you guys. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next Wednesday.
Same violent time, same violent channel.
Thanks again, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Boomer!
Fuck off.